The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig!
Stop! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 5 kickoff Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. This program starts now. Football! It is awesome, and Week 5 of the NFL season kicks off this evening as we have an NFC South rivalry game where the Bucs and the Falcons will do battle in Atlanta, where Atlanta is favored by 2. I think there's some books where it's 1.5. It's been bouncing back and forth, but they have less than 43% of the money on them. Everybody thinks that Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and this Buccaneers team that have been a little bit of a buzzsaw this season are going to go into Atlanta on a short week and do their thing. Might I remind them, Kirk Cousins is balling right now. And we have all the different angles going to be broken down on this particular program because we have a coach of football for 36 years of his life who is currently standing at a 4-0 record against the spread on Thursday Night Football picks. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Pagone.
Hey,
Coach, how you doing, pal?
Doing great.
Hey, I like the Boise State football hoodie. We will certainly talk some college ball today with a man who's one half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP tone, but the Boise State team electrifying right now. The surf turf isn't just, I'm sorry, not surf. The Smurf turf. The surf turf's in Coastal Carolina. The Smurf turf is out there in Boise State. Used to be a big topic of conversation with the blue turf because the birds would think it was water and they'd be higher.
Tough.
Had to have a dead bird collector after all the different suicide attempts that inevitably took place because these birds thought this field was water instead of a home for an electrifying running back named Ashton Genty. This guy's a real dog, and he's got all you Boise State people, I think, jacked up about Boise State football again.
Yeah, absolutely. I went to the game last Saturday, was on the sideline for that first half. When you feel this guy like run by you, what he's capable of, I mean, the guy is like he's jacked, right? Every down back, home run hitter. He breaks the line. He's going to break 8-10 tackles. He breaks the line of scrimmage. He can go the distance. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He blocks on third down, pass protector. The guy is unbelievable. Like when you don't think – remember how we used to say no edge, no chance?
Yep.
If you don't have an edge on this dude, see you later.
Even if
like
you have
this one, I'm standing right over. You think, okay, he's going to get 8-9 yards. And then he just turns on the jets and turns that corner, and he's got another 15 or 20.
You Boise folks are jacked up about this guy. He's got like Barry Sanders-like numbers.
Yeah.
When they're talking about how many yards he has per game. I think he had like 12 touchdowns in like 4 weeks. I forget the exact number.
Yeah, like 865 and 13 tuds to this point.
Jeez. 216 a game.
Played half that one game.
Yeah, he didn't even get to play 2 quarters.
Portland State, yeah.
Dog.
And an unbelievable human being. Like the best teammate you'd ever want.
How do you stay a boy? Like, that's the question. Because we're all getting introduced to him at a national level, I think, and we apologize to the Boise fans who probably knew that this was going to take place. But you would assume in the modern era, this particular type of weapon would be gone. Like Ollie Gordon at Oklahoma State last year. Thought he was going to inevitably get plucked with the money and everything like that. He's there. It's not really working out this year. We have no idea why for Oklahoma State thus far. We'll assumingly turn it on. But they're talking about Ashton Genty, and they're talking about Travis Hunter potentially winning the Heisman. That's a quarterback award. That is a credit to the Boise State legend. Now, let's go to tonight's Thursday Night Football matchup. Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, dueling down there in Atlanta. Atlanta 2-point favorites at home. Chuck, early read. Don't give away your pick. Congrats on being 4-0 on Thursday nights. But what are some things you're looking at whenever you think about tonight's game?
Well, I look at this Atlanta team. They're 2-2, but when you really look at it, you know, Philly drops a third down pass. Right, if they catch that ball, Saquon catch that ball out of the backfield, he doesn't drop that ball, right?
Oh yeah.
Then they're on a knee, and that game's over, right? And then last week, they get a defensive pass interference from a DB from New Orleans, put the ball at the plus 40-yard line. Koo hits that 58-yarder. So they're an eyelash away from being 0-4.
Oh, no.
But they are 2-2.
Oh.
They are 2-2. Tampa comes in hot, bacon. He's cooking. Gosh dang, I mean, he's doing a great job. Evans, Godwin, they got two good running backs. This rookie running back, Bucky Irvin, from Oregon, he's electric.
Electrifying.
He's got make-miss, feet like a shorebird.
Oh.
This guy's a good player. So this ought to be a good one. Neither team is really like Bowlesy. Like if you have to get ready and play Bowles on a short week with what he does from a defensive perspective, the amount of fronts, coverages, pressure package.
But will it be basic because it's Thursday night? Or does he depend? He expects...
They've been together for so long. That defense, Levante David and those guys have been together, so they know it. And he's already had a plan for these. It's a division game. They know this offense. So there's some familiarity, too, that's interesting, too. Raheem Morris coming from the Rams, back in Atlanta, head coach. Offensive coordinator for the Bucs is Liam Cohen, who was at the Rams with Raheem. So when you think about that, from a defensive perspective, Jimmy Lake's a DC for Atlanta. Raheem knows Liam, so they might have a little bit, something cooked up.
A little inside information.
They've only got 4 sacks on the season. So Atlanta hasn't done – they're pressuring, but they're not getting home. They're not getting hits, and they're not getting sacks. Dahn was supposed to be a huge get for them. Grady Jarrett. But they haven't produced. But will they dial it up tonight?
We shall see. On Prime, which is obviously anytime we get a chance to celebrate another week of football kicking off, we're pumped up about it. But these two teams, good teams. This is a very good game with a lot of implications down the road. The NFC South, don't look now, doesn't suck. Which a lot of people potentially thought they were going to suck. We'll talk about more about this with the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Bruce Brown and... Should we?
And?
I don't know. Three. Ty Schmidt's not going to be here for a little bit. I'm looking around the room. Everybody saying thumbs up. Him and his beautiful bride welcomed another beautiful baby girl.
Nice.
Congratulations, Ty.
Ty.
Congratulations, Ty. So obviously he's at home, with the family and healthy. From what we've been told. Beautiful, obviously, and the Schmidts grow by 1, so Bruce Brown will continue to sit in that particular Toxic Table unless, AQ Shipley's here, which is, I believe, feels right at home in that particular spot. But whenever you think about this Buccaneers and Falcons game, Boston Connor, who's been able to hit a couple big-time gambling parlays thus far this season. Been a little ice cold for a couple weeks, so haven't heard anything huge out of your bank account or your gambling account. Whenever you look at this game, you think a lot of points, not a lot of points? How do you think tonight goes? Do you think this is a big parlay evening with prop bets?
Definitely could be a huge parlay evening because both offenses, Chuck mentioned Evans, Godwin, there's so many touchdown parlay potential on that side. But then I'm not sure if he's playing. Vita Vea was out last week, I believe. I don't know if he's back. He's good to go.
He's up.
So that changes a lot when it comes to Atlanta just because of Bijan and everything they do. But I think it's going to be a great game. It feels like the NFC South is kind of the surprise of the entire NFL as a division top to bottom because, aside from the Panthers with Andy Dalton now, but with, Atlanta, Tampa, and New Orleans, all three of those teams are electric to watch. I think Atlanta's defense, we've seen them in primetime a couple times. They've obviously played the Chiefs and then also had the Eagles game in primetime too. Their defense flies around. I would love to see maybe a defensive score from one of these sides because Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield, which one are we going to get? You never really
What are you talking about?
You never really know. Sometimes you can get, the Kirk Cousins that we've seen as of late who spins the pill.
As of late, it's been years.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You got 180 mil, bro.
Exactly, 100 guaranteed. I love Kirk Cousins. I think he's funny. that song that they play, the swag and the surf. I think Kirk Cousins is hilarious.
To be clear though, anytime you hear I'm on him on it, he's on it, hold on, it is any school we've gone to, that and Mo Bamba and Swag Surf, any place you go to in the entire country, no matter what the age is, they go bananas.
Gets the crowd going.
It is. And so Kirk Cousins not hearing that before, I think is a little alarming, but that's how focused he is.
Exactly, locked in.
But then whenever now, maybe this is a new Kirk Cousins. Maybe this is a more free Kirk Cousins.
Swag
He was Kirk Cochains last year and the year before that on the plains. Now he's swagging and surfing down there in Atlanta with the chains. I mean, Kirk Cousins, this could be the best version of Kirk Cousins we've ever seen. So you putting out into the universe times of Kirk's past, way past, I don't think it's fair.
I'm just saying it's possible. I mean, same with Baker. They're both great. I'm just saying it is possible. And then, seeing the little promo that Prime Video is running with Baker Mayfield tonight of him as like Rex something.
Florida man.
Florida man Rex, basically. And he's going Chad Powers behind the scenes. Feels like vibes are very high for the Bucs, too. So I think it's going to be a great one. This might be one of the best primetime games we've had thus far.
What are the percentage of bets right now? Because there was a stat that I saw got sent into the group, I believe, by Gumpy about how teams are faring. Here it is, NFL teams that are getting less than 50% of the bets are 38, 22, and 2 against the spread this season. 43% of the bets are currently on the Falcons, -1.5 versus the Bucs on Thursday Night Football. So that would fall into the 38 thing instead of the 22 thing for the Atlanta Falcons at home tonight. Tony, is there any other numbers we need to know?
Yeah, that's the worst start for gamblers, or that stat is the worst start for gamblers in 20 years. So a historically bad start so far for the public. Over
20 years?
20 years.
We're getting our asses beat.
More gobblers, more new gobblers. That's crazy. That's got to be why.
Yeah, but normally the new gobblers hit because it's like beginner's luck, and then they're chasing that dragon forever.
There's a lot of dummies out there.
Yep. And week 4 or 5, we should kind of know what we got a little bit, have a chance as a betting public. But this year,
it just seems like we don't.
It might turn. Doesn't it always turn? I feel like at some point it turns.
It has not for casinos. I don't think there's been a couple casinos that it's just gone.
Yeah,
it is just going.
I always thought beginning of the season is when we win, and then they figure it out, and then we lose.
Yeah, because they got their algorithms and their big brains and their ability.
No, the beginning of the season is when we think we know, but we have no idea.
This is a true story
of gambling. But no, I mean, that's at one book. That's at BetMGM. The site I use apparently brings in all the books together to bring in all the gambling information, has it even lower. They have like 30% of the bets on the Falcons tonight. And those teams have done even better than the 50% of bets tonight. We'll see, though. Truck brings up a lot of good points about the Falcons' close games and things like that.
So Kirk's 1-3 against the spread. Baker's 3-1. Just throwing it out there. I don't know if you need all these other
Connor
numbers.
Connor, hey, Coach, what's Bake when he's in all the commercials and doing a bunch of videos and dressing up as a Florida man?
He made some content before the team.
That's a good point. Didn't think about that.
Kind of, ingratiate himself with the city in which he just got paid to remain. That became Tom Brady's town pretty quickly.
It was.
They actually had cranes everywhere and businesses. He was a part of a local area being developed, I think, alongside Jeter and
Gates.
Bill Gates.
Yeah.
William Gates.
What's he up to?
Yeah,
he said something interesting the other day, didn't he?
That's what it was.
Anyways, Baker Mayfield, then he has to that's why he's making these videos. I like the fact he's not doing all the commercials. I assume that he would say he is happy he's not doing it anymore, too, because some of the backlash, especially if things aren't going fantastic. But Baker in a Buccaneers uniform has gone swimmingly. I mean, this guy feels like it's perfect for Tampa Bay, for that city, for that state, for this particular time and the offensive weapons that they have. It's like Baker's gone in there and done great. And then him and Tom having that spat a little bit. And, spat is an interesting way, a very negative way to describe it. Journalistic standards, you don't have to do that. But it was kind of a little bit of a spat. And then for him to do what he did in that game with Tom in the booth.
Sweet.
I mean, that's like... That's massive because he could have showed up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He could have been embarrassed by what took place because Tom has done a lot of things for that city of Tampa. And then now Baker's kind of coming out and saying you could do things differently as well. And it's like, for him to show up, it's like, this is the Baker that I think we all were hoping for. I mean, Baker Mayfield goes to Cleveland and wins there.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield takes Cleveland to the playoffs and wins a playoff game there. That's not okay. Yeah. And it didn't, and it still hasn't, and it did when he was there. They run his ass out of town, obviously, because of whatever happens behind closed doors. He gets bounced around, and then now he's like, Baker's playing great football right now.
Unreal.
And is that why everybody's hammering the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you think? Because Baker, we know of Baker, and then Kirk Cousins, just a lot of people don't have enough because...
I was actually shocked of how one-sided it was. I thought it'd be more of a split. I thought it would be 50-50 because both teams have looked decent. They've looked good. Now, and you had the big bounce back last week from the Bucs after they got embarrassed by the Broncos the week before that, which you knew was coming because Baker's not going to have 2 bad ones in a row. That's just not who he is, okay? But no, I thought it'd be – I don't know personally why.
They beat Atlanta 6 out of 8. And they've covered 9 of their last 11 on the road, the Buccaneers.
And if you hear Chuck say, this Atlanta Falcons team should be 0-4.
Yeah, but
what are we even talking
the
about? Like, teams
They
win.
didn't score a touchdown last week.
Well, hats off to the Bucs for winning week 1 against the Panthers.
Atlanta did not score an offensive touchdown last week. They got a punt, muffed, and recovered it in the end zone, and a pick 6.
Yeah, Bradley Pinion, obviously a weapon. He's going to score touchdowns for you in the first quarter. He's going to hit a ball so high into the sky in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, you're not going to be able to catch it. It's going to hit off, beat him up ball, and then it's going to end up in the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. 7-0 Atlanta Falcons. And then it's going to end with Younghoe Koo hitting a 58-yarder. The Falcons offense knows that. The Falcons offense understands that they got kickers and punters that can win them the game. So they're choosing not to score touchdowns, Chuck. That is a decision that is being made so that the kickers can do their thing. Nonetheless, excited for Raheem, excited for the Bucs. Tom Moore's going to be down here on Thursday night. I hope he takes it in. His coaching points are obviously going to potentially make the Buccaneers get over the hump. But we'll cover all of it. Let's talk about what's going on in the NFL, though. Big news. And it's developing seemingly with every insider report that comes out every 5 to 10 minutes that all kind of echo each other but have a little bit different of sauce on it. We are now at the point where Davante Adams only wants to go to the Jets, but the Las Vegas Raiders will accept the best deal. So there's reports from insiders who are getting comments from around the NFL. Our sources from the NFL are telling us that Davante Adams only wants to go to the New York Jets or maybe the New Orleans Saints. So maybe that's why teams are not acting as if they are as interested, or maybe teams are making that excuse to say the reason why we're not doing it is because we know if he came here, have to give a contract, he's not going to do his entire thing. But the way everybody's talking is that he's going to the Jets. That is seemingly how every insider is chatting about this situation. Chuck Pagano, if Davante Adams ends up with the Jets this year, does that make them even more of a Super Bowl contender here 5 weeks in? Does it make their offense more efficient? Does it make everything in New York better if you drop Davante Adams in there this particular week? I would say yes, okay, because I am just a human who, is just a football stooge. Happen to have front row seat to a lot of things. But for me, with the history that Aaron and Davante have of him telling us numerous stories, both on air and off air, that me and Davante Adams just kind of have the same wavelength. We're kind of floating at the same dimension on a field. Everybody else is at 3D. We're kind of at 5D. And whenever we're on the field, we know what each other want more than anybody else, which is why we had so much success. He gets a bag from Las Vegas, tries to go and play with his college teammate, Derek Carr. He leaves. Now he sees what it's like with 5 different quarterbacks, couple turnovers in the organization, not great football. He wants out. He wants to save his career. If he goes back to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, they're immediately great, right? Offensively? Or is that just a little bit of an overreaction and a little bit too dramatic to think like that?
I think it's a little bit of an overreaction.
Come on, Chuck.
I mean, you can say Garrett Wilson, and they're talking about, hey, they thought this Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson thing would come together sooner than it has. And that obviously is a work in progress. They've got Lazard there, got the 2 running backs, obviously, and now you drop Devon. He is a hell of a player. He is going to be 31 years old. They're going to have to navigate the gap to the cap. Do they have the money to pay the contract? I'm kind of wanting to know, like they scored. What did they score last week? 9 points. Was that?
No touch.
A field goal?
Weather was terrible.
Yeah, 3 field goals.
Was missed PAT or no touchdowns?
No touchdowns.
The weather was bad, though. It was bad weather. They had a lot of offsides.
You know how many bad weather games Aaron Rodgers has played in?
Well, that's what he was
in
saying.
Green Bay.
Not in Jersey.
He was actually saying.
And scored a million points.
Well, that's what he was saying. I think that was
snow.
part of what he was saying. It was cold.
It was snow, not rain.
Yeah, I remember because he had the long johns on.
The waffle thing.
The waffle thing. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah, you knew you were in trouble.
So you think you dropped Davante. So everything to your point, you dropped Davante in there, immediate uptick, we think. That's what people are saying too as well. That's the expectation.
Could be. I mean, they've got the defense, they've got the players, but, they still got to set up the formation. They got to put a game plan together. They got to call the right plays in the right situations.
What's he saying?
I mean, this guy's an asshole. Look, you put Devontae in any offense, it's
They're
an
going to
uptick.
get better.
Okay?
Sounds like he's questioning the offensive coordinator.
It does, doesn't it? It's like game plan, strategies. You got to put them into formations, all these. Yeah.
That's something to think about. Does Devontae, after seeing how everything's going with Salah publicly, very publicly in press conferences, does he want to go dive into that ring?
Yeah, speaking of press conferences, the Jets have the Vikings this weekend. Good news for the New York Jets offense that wasn't able to do much against Denver last week for whatever reason. They now have the Brian Flores defense that they're going to have to go against. Aaron obviously knows that defense very well. He knows every defense very well. Will they be up to the task in London? We shall see. A couple different coaching strategies kind of taking place seemingly between these two teams for different situations that are taking place. Let's go to Minnesota first. Andrew Van Ginkel talked about what Coach Flores said to them on his sideline during a game.
Yeah, he was hard on us because we didn't play up to the standard, especially in that second half. We were giving up chunk plays. It was just a snowball effect, and we had a couple turnovers in there, but I think he said something about like 10 of the 12 plays or something were negative plays for us, so that's unacceptable, and it's something that we got to strive to perfect and get better at.
So the way the tweet was phrased by a journalist from Fox 9 over there was Brian Flores chewed him out pretty much. And then he was, a little bit upset with the way things are going and let him know about it, confront him. And then you go to what Coach Salah said at a press conference about how he handles the team and situations, conversations after the type of loss that they had this past weekend.
Depends on who you talk to. I personally know they're men. They want to be treated like men. They already know they messed up. They don't need to be embarrassed. They need to know how to correct it. And I don't think doing push-ups is teaching a guy how to correct it.
Okay, both very valid answers and different coaching styles in the moment. Coach Salah, also head coach, not just defense coordinator, with his guys in it all. Both teams, now the Vikings, obviously, absolute wagon. Jets in a spot that I think they're wondering, their fans are wondering. Yeah. I am a believer, okay, that the guy who comes on this show on Tuesdays and plays quarterback and has 4 MVPs and is going to be in a Mount Rushmore whenever he's done about football in a total. I'm a believer that on offense, he'll figure it out. I'm a believer that their defense has enough talent that they should be able to figure it out to go forward. How do you hear what are your thoughts whenever you hear Van Ginkel talk about B-Flow and Coach Salah there at his press conference, just immediately as a man who coached 18 years in the NFL?
Yeah, I think you got to have those conversations. I think you got to, players, they want to be coached. They want discipline, and they want to be told the truth. All right? They don't want to be embarrassed in front of their peers. If you go after some of these NFL players in front of their peers, and if you have a relationship with them, Pat, guys, if you have a relationship, then there's more that can be said. And you get the most work done. Like when you have a relationship with a player and you call them in and it's behind closed doors, anything can be said in there, both ways. Okay, and it's all based on that relationship. And if that player trusts that coach and he respects that coach and vice versa, then critical, conversations can be made. They can be had, and they have to, because like I said, players want to be coached. They want to know the truth. They don't want things candy coated. I mean, Aaron said it on the deal when the deal came up about cadence. He said, no, we got to hold players accountable. Yeah. Maybe that's a deal. You know that. You've been in the locker room. AJ's been in the locker room. He'll be on here in a while. You don't, because they'll get sniffed out. Like if you just pick on the guys that you can pick on, the rookies, this, that, and the other, and then the other guys, sit in the team meeting and they're never like called out or get away. You can't do that. And
like if you only find the punter for tweets. Not everybody else. Everybody kind of sees what's going on, including
the players
including
know.
The punter knows.
They know. The players know, and they're going to call bullshit on it.
Yeah, bingo.
And you know what? And the message is going to get. It's going to fall on deaf ears. It's not going to go very far. But obviously, these players respect B-Flow. They're having a ton of success. He's just saying, "Hey, God, we can't take our foot off the gas. The standard is the standard, and we're going to do it for 60 minutes.
And Coach Salah there is saying, like, hey, I don't want to embarrass these guys, but we just need to correct it and move forward. His style. I'm pumped. And if I'm Coach Salah, I would like to go on at least a 2-3 game winning streak. Yeah. Just one time. Yep. It would be very cool just to do that one time. So after every game, it's not like, can this guy coach a winning team?
Yeah. And maybe a nice streak of not putting your foot in your mouth, because this is with the Egypt thing.
Jeez.
This is now twice where he's basically said something, then regretted it, and then directly contradicted himself right afterwards and started a whole hoopla around something. So maybe just don't do that after the game.
So the PR, he didn't mind coaching probably too. Coaching his press conferences.
Yeah.
And there's probably
there you go.
There's probably an opportunity to do that and just say, hey, there's some coaches that just choose literally to say nothing.
Yeah.
Like that is their actual mentality. Now, it might not be in your personality to say nothing. You might be uncomfortable to do that. But if we're going to say stuff, we gotta figure out how we say it. There's only 32 of these jobs. Okay, there's only 32. 2 of them happen to be in this particular market, which is biggest in the country.
Yes.
If you don't know that. So speaking is going to be a big part of it all. You're right, though. The Caden situation, the Egypt situation, all these things kind of get... Hassan Reddick situation with him saying, I know where he is, I know what he's doing, and then not happening. It's like, and I think Salah probably, if you were to talk to him, incredibly cool guy. I assume that people around him love him, like hanging out with him. I assume he is a great football mind. But at these press conferences, as they continue to go, it's always just like, is this the right guy for this particular? And does he want this job?
Yeah, exactly. Happens with
does this guy even want this job? Like when we're watching him talk, I'm like, does he still want to be the New York Jets head coach right now? Like, or is there a chance he's like, can I just get back to calling these defenses and just get everybody off my ass for a minute? I guess human nature kind of settles in as well.
Yeah, and like that happens all the time where a guy is a coordinator and then he goes and becomes a head coach and then it's like, oh shit, I have to deal with all this other bullshit, and then goes back to being a coordinator and their life is 100 times better. I mean, like look at Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, like at the end of Atlanta versus Dan Quinn in Dallas, and granted he's back being a head coach, crushing it.
Still backwards hat.
But still backwards hat, yeah, like almost was like, hey, I can be the coordinator that I am while being the head coach. Like it's awesome for him, and maybe that's what Salah needs.
But boy, if you win 4 or 5 straight games, it's great to be a head coach.
Yeah, people will shut up.
Those pressers get so much easier. But hey,
you know,
I've had my tail chewed out, many, many times by Tina. Before.
We know.
Coming after a press conference, like less is more. So there's a growing process when you go to your point, Connor, about from a coordinator, offense,
defensive coordinator, mostly though, because you guys aren't talking defense coordinators much less than offense coordinators in the modern NFL world. I think personally.
As far as what?
Talking, media, interviews.
Every club is different. Like at the Colts, I got Thursdays off as a head coach because that was the coordinator's time. So they got once a week. So it was equal there. So I don't know how the other clubs do it.
Yeah, but do you think more people talking offense coordinator or defense coordinator?
They both get their time up there. So the amount of questions,
Headlines
there may be more. There
Yeah.
may be more for an offensive coordinator than a defensive
That's what I'm saying.
coordinator.
Like offensive side is seemingly a bit more savvy whenever it comes to dealing with media. Personally, that's just what my thoughts are, and that's like normally what quarterbacks or people that have been on the offensive side, they get a little bit more attention than the defensive side. I think personally, but I could be wrong on that.
No, it just depends where you're at. If you got an offensive coordinator and an offense that can't put any points on the board, can't score, whatever, who wants to talk to them?
True.
And then you got a defensive coordinator that all they do is, get strip sacks and hit the quarterback and stop the run.
I guess,
get off
Wink
the
Martindale and them over there in Baltimore.
On third down, and they've got big personalities, and shoot, you're going to want to talk to those
True. You're right. I guess situations are situational. But nonetheless, when you go from coordinator to head coach and you have to
just think, take a breath. Not ready, aim, fire, or ready, fire, aim. It's ready, aim, fire. So just take a deep breath. Think about what you're going to say. Hey, I respect the fact that you have to ask me that question. I respect that. But I think that's something that, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to look at the tape. We're going to go back. I'm going to watch the tape. I'm going to talk to the coaches and see how we can get this thing cleaned up. It's really simple.
I'm happy I don't have to do that.
Oh, coach.
Could you imagine?
No, it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you did okay, though. I thought you did good at it. I don't think there's anybody that's like great at press conferences because you're going to have to say bad news. I thought you did good. I think Tomlin does good.
Yeah, well, he doesn't say anything, but he says a lot.
Yeah, it's like Belichick. I think Belichick does good.
Yep.
I think Andy Reid somehow always a good. I think his arrow of likability on those focus groups, if they're watching Andy Reid interviews, always up and to the right.
Which is interesting.
Frankie launched you. Huh?
Yeah, Frank Luntz showed us.
Yeah.
Pete Carroll, everything he says.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, this focus group loves it. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Shanahan.
Can you imagine Salah's lines?
Oh, my. Legitimately. I assume Frank Luntz has that thing figured out. Luntz is a sociologist. I don't know if that's the proper terminus. Runs focus groups for politicians and shit like that.
Yeah.
Then the NFL was like, this guy needs to come speak to NFL players. and he started talking to us as if we were running for fucking president. So that kind of went in one ear, out the other, but he did have some good content, and he had great shoes. He wore these American flag shoes, and boy, he was
sweet.
He was prancing around there.
It was words at work, right? He just tried to educate us as players and coaches. You're going to be in front of the media. These are words that work, and these are words that don't work.
Yeah, but do they work? Like, are we running for president or are we football?
We're for
that was my big takeaway from that. Now, I'd known about Frank Luntz because Miss Feather in college had my sociology teacher, professor. We had learned about the old focus groups and polls and who's doing the polls, where are these polls located, who are the people that are answering these questions, what are their potential biases whenever you look into the poll. The plus or minus thing, yeah, that could be much more than what it says. And then Frank Luntz comes in with a focus group, and I learned a bunch about him. Shout out to Miss Nancy Feather, obviously, for that whole thing. But I was ready for his ass when he walked in there. And I was like, all right, Frank Luntz, let's see how you perform. Pretty good performance up there. His shoes really stole the show, though.
Yeah, that helps.
He had his American flag shoes. He was skipping around. He was like, listen, this is what we need to do. He had good energy. It was great. We really appreciate him.
It's for guys that don't go on 5-game winning streaks.
Yes, exactly. It is like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. If you can't put together 2 or 3 wins in a row and things are getting a little bit hairy.
Hey, Coach Sully, you're going to figure it out.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah. They're going to win. They're just going to win a bunch of games, so it gets much easier. Shout out to Ram Trucks, okay, presenting this hour. Got delivered yesterday a 2,500. 2,500 Rebel Ram truck outside. I mean, this thing heavy duty, brother. And I got a chance to whip it around a little bit. Diesel engine, okay? Yeah. Did not know this was coming. Shows up in the middle of the show yesterday. This Ram truck is a beauty, obviously. It, these Ram trucks, it's all the power you need, the luxury you want, and the capability you deserve.
Hell yeah.
I think could pull this Thunderdome if it had to.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, and
got the thing,
the trailer steerer,
tow
for the
steer.
hitch.
Yeah,
but it's a trailer steer that controls the hitch there. So if I need to go ahead and whip that some bitch and go ahead and flip that some bitch the other way, I can go ahead and do it. That's a Ram truck difference. And I'll tell you what, when I ram. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
Ram.
Nice purr to it.
Oh, ram.
Great purr. And it got a cool screen in the middle, too.
I went, holy. When I got dropped off this morning by Uber, I saw that thing out there.
It's beautiful.
Shit. Oh, my God.
It's a powerful looking truck.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just look that way. It walks the walk as well.
Feels that way.
It is a real deal. Shout out to Ram. We appreciate the hell out of you, Ram Trucks.
Ram.
This hour is presented by Ram Trucks and powered by the new 2025 Ram 1500. What else I say? The Ram 2500, phenomenal as well. And I believe there's a 3500. I don't know if they go up to 4500, but if they do, I would buy it. Shout out to Ram. We appreciate him. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's a multiple-time Super Bowl champion, a former general manager in the NFL, an advisor, a consultant, a man who has a live talk show, a podcast. He's a TED talker, an author, and an email newsletter founder, creator, and writer. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Lombardi.
Yeah. What's up, guys? How are we? And I'm friends with Frank Luntz, too. I just want you to know he's got a house in Los Angeles in Beverly Hills that the White House office is in his house. He replicated the White House office. And I think Robert Saleh would do a lot of world of good to spend a little bit of time with them. Maybe, as Chuck said, he might want to think about what he says before he goes to that press conference, because he's not been on a streak. I mean, he's been on the anti-DiMaggio streak when he goes talks to the press.
Yeah, and that's going to happen when you become the head coach. That's a part of the gig. You're going to have to be speaking for the organization, for the program, for your players, for your coaches, and hopefully they're able to settle that. I asked Chuck earlier on the program, and I'm excited to take your thoughts on this because I think I already heard him on the internet. Devontae Adams. Okay?
Yeah.
You pick him up out of Las Vegas, which you've been saying has potentially been an issue since the beginning of offseason whenever everybody else was getting wide receiver contracts. He was looking for a new wide receiver contract because he only has this year left of guaranteed money, and he's seeing a lot of wide receivers that are nowhere near as good as him get paid a lot of money, and he was wondering, well, Bambi. So you said quietly that's been happening behind the scenes for Las Vegas. You told us that. You've said that on your show. This has been taking place. Now it all comes to a head, and everybody's saying he's looking to go to the Jets or the Saints, but more specifically, specifically the Jets, to get back into an offense that he knows with Hackett and a quarterback, obviously, that he's had a lot of success with in Aaron Rodgers, and they have a chance to potentially go and win. I heard your take on this. You don't think that's going to happen or a good move, or the Jets don't automatically come super? Go ahead.
I think that, he's got $13 million coming to him. Now, the Jets have the room because of the Riddick thing, which we won't get into, so they could easily do it. But what happens with the compensation? I mean, the Raiders come out and say they want a second-round pick. Well, who's going to pay the $13 million? Look, I think he would help the Jets. The Jets have a struggle to make big plays down the field, right? Last week in their game against Denver, their front got torn up. Denver's defensive front did a great job against them. But I think Adams would add something to him. I mean, Garrett Wilson hasn't been able to get going in the offense. There hasn't seemed to have been a chemistry with their quarterback and the receivers, and we know, and I'm in the same camp as you are, the quarterback is exceptional. I mean, nobody throws the ball in locations where he does. It's really remarkable, but he needs everybody on the same page, and it's struggling, and I think this would help their team. However, I think it's hard to maneuver. I think the Raiders have to give up a lot, and if you're going to give up a contract, if you're going to not redo his contract, and you're going to bring him into your team. Like, let's take, for example, the Saints. They could use him. They talked about him going there. Well, next year his cap number is at like $35 million. The Saints are $100 million over the cap. How do they get him under? You can't trade a high pick for a one-year contract, and I think there lies the problem, and I think it's a hard deal to do. This deal should have been done in the offseason when Tom Telesco got in there, because this problem has been brewing since February.
Michael Lombardi's son was the offensive coordinator for the Las Vegas Raiders last year, which is a note that should be mentioned during this entire conversation. Now, Tom Telesco, Antonio Pierce are, in charge of the Raiders. They said in the offseason, though, he was going to be one of the pillars of the Raider way going forward, and Max Crosby was going to be a guy they're going to build around. What do you think happened here in the last 4 weeks? Same contract stuff, or you think it's just contract stuff? And then on that note,
I think Devontae's been very clear, and he's been very private about it. I'm not saying anything that he's done is wrong. I mean, he's been very upfront about what he wants, and he didn't show up to the off-season program for a bunch of other reasons. But I think essentially, nothing says I'm sorry better than money. And unless you're willing to reward the contract, I think it's going to be a problem. I've never seen a guy not go to – Max Crosby didn't go to the game on Sunday with a hamstring. That, to me, bothers me. That tells me there's something going on in that locker room. Now, look, Antonio Pierce has taken over. He was the interim coach. When you're the substitute teacher, it's a lot easier to get the students to listen and behave and do all those things. When you become the full-time teacher, all of a sudden you have to change your personality. We've really only seen two coaches go from interim status to full-time status and have a longevity in their NFL careers. Jason Garrett being one, Doug Marrone in Jacksonville being the other. So this is a challenging job, and you change because the position requires you to change. You're a head coach, and the players see that change, and they're like, what happened to the dude that was last year? It's a hard thing, Pat, and I think it's a tough situation to be put in.
So he called Devontae 17 in presser earlier this week whenever talking about injuries, and then there's a full cut-up with the way he's chatting about Devontae. Those two are on the outs, you think? Or are they on the outs because of the business side of it all, or...?
I think they're on the outs because of the business. I think, to me, somebody – look, I can't prove this. I don't know, but as Chuck eloquently said before I came on, you can't lie to players. You can't mislead players. And there seems to be a disconnect here, but there seems to be more than one disconnect, because I think Crosby has always been the team guy, but when he doesn't show up to a game, that tells me something without knowing something.
So the Raiders and Crosby have come out and said that the trainers for the Raiders told him to stay home and stay off his feet, and that is why he missed it. Now, granted, I mean, you obviously can take that how you want. That is what they are saying. That is their side of it. And Max Crosby, nothing I know of Max Crosby wouldn't be all in for the Raiders all the time. Just
he was tweeting throughout the game too, positive Raiders.
So he was there, but his feet were rested.
Kicked up.
Nonetheless, the Devontae situation is certainly one to keep an eye on, because Max and Devontae were going to be the pillars, and then now here we are going into week 5, and it's like Devontae's going to be a Jet within the next week or so. No doubt. And that $13 million one goes down by $977,000 each week, which is a game check.
Let's not forget the Aaron, when he walked off that golf course at Lake Tahoe, when he gave that subtle little saying that we expect Devontae. That goes back to July. I mean, so look, I think this is in the Jets' court. I can't see another team coming in. There's teams with cap room, there's no question. Cleveland has a ton of cap room, but they'll put that cap money into next year, right? They need that money for next year. They're so far over the cap. Same thing with the Cowboys. Much the same thing with the Saints. I mean, they're $100 million over. The Jets are sitting there perfectly because they have the room. Now, you've got to get the Raiders to figure out, okay, we've had enough of this. We're going to get rid of them. We're going to trade them. You take them, and we won't take a lot of compensation. That's a hard thing to do, especially when they have to eat a lot of acceleration on his contract.
Hey, Lombo, those next 2 years, 2025, 2026, non-guaranteed there, what does that mean? Can they renegotiate a one-year contract and those just be getting knocked out?
They could go in. Like the Jets could come in and take them over, and they, if the take in the salary, they could say, "Look, we'll guarantee X amount for next year. We'll guarantee X amount in the next year for skill or for injury." However, they want to do that, they certainly could do that, and they have the cap room. See, here's the key: you have to have the cap room to make the trade. The Raiders aren't going to renegotiate the contract to then make the trade for you.
Lombo, hold on, one second. Hold on, Lombo, hold on. So if, let's say, Tay goes to the Jets, gets traded to the Jets. Let's say they give up a third for him. It ends up being a third. And they're saying it's going to be a good third, or it's depending upon how it is, maybe you get it, a third instead of a second. Can they renegotiate this deal that has 3 years left, including this year, with non-guaranteed money? They can renegotiate it and just make it a one-year deal with no money owed over the next 2 years, so he becomes a free agent at the end of this year. What's the dead cap for that? Is there a dead cap situation for that, or who ends up having?
There's no dead cap for the Jets. This is an easy deal to do for the Jets. There's no dead cap. All the dead cap will be incurred by the Raiders, who did this contract originally. So they would incur the debt. Now they could do it of July 1 of next year, or they have to eat it all in this year. We'll see how they handle that. But to me, that's where I think that's $40 million. They have like $40 million of acceleration if they take it on now, which they don't have the room to do that.
So if the Jets trade for him, and let's say they renegotiate somebody's contract to open up more money this year. Let's say they tear up the current contract. Okay, and then they make it $20 million guaranteed for this year, for the rest of the year. That would have been like 5 weeks, obviously, removed from the $20 million salary. Fully guaranteed, and then he's a free agent after this year. You're saying the Raiders would still incur dead cap hits because of the deal that they negotiated, but the Jets, Devontae, free after this year from each other.
They would then whatever the new contract the Jets did, whatever acceleration they pushed in the future years would stay with them. But they have to take Devontae's contract as it is right now for a day. Then they can renegotiate. They put it on their cap for a day. Then they can renegotiate it. What the Jets certainly could do that.
What if they tear it up, though, completely, and it's only a one-year deal? What if it is just the rest of this year?
Then they, as long as they have the cap room, they can tear it up completely. But they have to have his Raider contract that they make the trade on his cap for the one day that they trade him for. Got it. They trade him. So what you do is you tell the Devontae's agent, look, once you get here, here's the deal we're going to do. He signs. We go 24 hours. Here's the new contract. We'll turn that deal in.
Would Tay want one-year deal? Because Aaron said he's going to play multiple years, I think, at a couple different times. But, like, for Tay, if it is like a one-year rental, then he's saying, well, what team will give up a high pick for a one-year rental? It's like maybe a team that thinks they're all fired if they don't have a good year. So maybe it like...
well, maybe he does a 2-year deal, too, if he thinks Rodgers going to play 2 years. It's like, all right, I'll do this year and next year.
How much are you going to give Lombo to the 32? He's going to be 32, right?
He's 31.
Right.
They're all trying to age him. He's 31 years old. Jeez Louise.
Right now he's 31?
Yeah.
He'll be 32
you're talking, you're going to be 32 next year, and
that's not 42.
God forbid. I mean, I hope so. You know what I mean? We never know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Well, I think that's the sticking
Get wrong
point.
algorithm. I don't know if we're going to be around next year. Jeez Louise.
And who knows what they
who's
promised
paying the
Reddit.
$13 million?
What's that?
I think that's the question is, will the Raiders pay some of the salary? I think that's going to be some of the issue. If the pick's higher, if the Jets give up a third-round pick for them, I think the Raiders would probably pay some of the salary. They would have to. That doesn't count as paying for a draft pick, but I think they would have to do something. I mean, look, it's hard to trade players in season, especially knowing that, you may not be able to have them. You can't rent a player and give up a really good, valuable resource like a second-round pick for a one-year rental.
Yeah, but to your point, too, they could put, like, in the incentives where it's like if he plays 80% of snaps, it could become a higher pick.
A second round, it's a third rounder. It could become a second rounder, especially if we win, yada, 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 because we don't care. We go all in.
Yeah.
Fascinating situation development. Then the Saints obviously are in it because Derek Carr's down there, and it's like the Raiders are just taking the best offer, right? They don't give a shit.
He has a no-trade clause, so they can take the best offer, but no team's going to take him. They're going to be the anti-Jets here. They're not going to take him without knowing what the kid wants before he comes in. This is not going to be like Hassan Riddick, where you take the guy, we didn't know he wanted a new contract. Well, you did know. You just didn't get it done. But I think that's going to be the key, right? I mean, you got to be able to know. You don't want him coming in. You don't want to take the Raiders' problem and make it your problem, like what the Jets ended up doing with Riddick.
Okay, Connor has a question for you away from that subject.
Yeah, Lamba, how do you feel about what's going on in Washington? The Commanders are absolutely rolling, and Jaden Daniels, I believe, set a record for completion percentage through 4 starts in the history of the NFL. And even with the Devontae stuff, the Commanders are one of those teams on the list with the cap space. Do you think he would be a piece that they would add, and then they would actually be legitimate Super Bowl contenders in Jaden Daniels' first year?
No, I think that, look, I marvel at with Jaden Daniels. His accuracy, throwing 19 incomplete passes all season in 4 games. I mean, he's doing things. People are comparing him to what Peyton Manning did in his MVP season. This isn't Peyton Manning as a rookie. This is remarkable. I mean, this kid has been unbelievable, and he's hiding all the deficiencies within the Washington football team. I mean, their offensive line is playing at a better level, and their defense, which we know statistically hasn't played well, but they've rallied. I think Dan Quinn's done a great job, and so has Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, Cliff's done a remarkable job of making this kid run an offense that fits him perfectly. You want to call it a college offense, that's fine, but it's an effective offense. Whatever it is, the receivers catch the ball. I think if you know Adam Peters and you know how much he respects and wants the draft, I think he wants to collect draft picks, not give draft picks away. So I think they will play with the roster. Look, they need more talent on defense to help this kid, but this kid's amazing. I mean, he's been unbelievable. From the first day, the first throw in the preseason game against the Jets on the deep ball on 3rd and 10, he's been like outstandingly accurate, and his reading and his understanding of the defense is really good. And I don't expect it to stop. I mean, he's not going to play at this level every week, but man, is he good. And I tell you what, he makes it very challenging to defend because his ability to move in the pocket, you got to be really careful. You can say you're going to spy him, but who's spying him? They better be fast.
Yeah, and also to your point about since the first throw of preseason he's been there, it feels like the team loves him too. And it's because of reasons like 3rd and 7, 4th quarter, less than 2 minutes left, knowing that somebody is going to spear you in the face and still throwing a dime to Terry McLaurin. It's like Cliff Kingsbury showing that to the entire offense. Dan Quinn's probably showing that to the entire team. Look at this young guy right here. Look at our quarterback. Look what he's willing to do for us to win. We haven't had that in a long time. Let's go ahead and get excited about everything. And then Cliff Kingsbury, before that game 2 weeks ago, whenever the Cincinnati said it was a basic college offense, him walking around everybody talking shit before the game. And then last week against Arizona, it's like that team, backwards hat Dan Quinn, Jaden Daniels, Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. Wait a minute. Awesome. The Washington Commanders. Now, the NFL was a little bit against him. I don't know if you saw McNichols.
Oh, yeah.
He scores a touchdown.
Son of a bitch.
And he does the bow and arrow.
Disgusting.
And they call a personal foul celebration penalty against McNichols. The NFL is trying to slow down the Commanders. They're trying to say, this team's too happy all of a sudden. They throw a flag on that. So, once again, obviously, reached out and asked, and they said they don't want to do the weaponry. Now, there has been an adjustment. Bow and arrows, slingshots, I think are going to be okay.
Okay.
Really?
That's what our source says have been telling us. So firearms, I believe, guns are going to be problematic no matter how you do it, even if it's a finger gun or a double barrel gun. And if you even do a finger like this, they'll just say, well, that's one of those low profile cricket guns. So I think anything potential gun-like is going to get a penalty, but you get bow and arrow. Swords, I think, are okay.
Crossbow?
Crossbow's gun, I think.
Are these good? You know how
sword,
sheath in it.
I think sword's okay.
Yeah, we still don't know about muskets.
I love the sheath.
Forget the weaponry. Forget the weaponry. I mean, the fact that the Washington Commanders lead the league in the least amount of punts per play, if you would have said that to me back in August, I would have said there's no way, right? I mean, one of the ways you measure how well you're doing offensively and not going for it on 4th down is how many punts per game are you utilizing? And this team is at a record number. I mean, the Chargers are at 0.11. That's the worst in the league, whereas the Commanders are at 0.02. I mean, they are by far. They're better than San Francisco. They're better than New Orleans. They're much better than Kansas City. Got to give this kid a ton of credit.
Yeah, Tress Way is one of the best punters in the league, has been for a long time. 1 per game they're averaging. 4 punts this entire season. That's phenomenal stuff. And then there's a percentage of completions for Jaden Jaden Daniels over 85%. If he goes for 3, that'll be a record. J.J. Watt said that. I think Jared Goff is potentially in the same vein of completion percentages and everything like that. So there's a couple high-performing quarterbacks, and then there's a bunch that we don't know. Is it all kind of settling in? And what Jaden Daniels doing this year, is it similar to what Pete Rose did in 1968, the year of the pitcher?
Good question.
When all the pitchers were phenomenal. And the average, batting average was like .251 or .230 or something like that. And Pete Rose batted .330. Something
MVP
like that.
only batted.
Yeah,
But wasn't the mound? I think the mound was higher that year. That's when they lowered the mound the next year. You remember? I think the mound was up a little bit higher, and that's why they were so effective. But Rose was.
This has been a year of defenses and year of offenses not being amazing. And here's Jaden Daniels just having a historic positive. It's like similar to that.
Unbelievable.
Let's go to a couple quarterback situations kind of brewing. Chuck's got a question for you, Paisan.
Hey, so Lombo, Colts travel to Jacksonville where they haven't won since 2014. Big win for the Colts last week over the Steelers. We talked about it before. What'd you see, in that game? AR's a little bit beat up. He's got an oblique or something going on. He went out of that game. Joe Flacco comes in and obviously does a great job towards the end of that game, converting third down, staying on the field. They pulled that one out. Really did an unbelievable job offensive line-wise versus that defense and that front.
Yep.
T.J. Watt, barely on the – you didn't even hear his name, called. That never happens. I don't want to piss the guys off here.
Well, they held him on every play,
in the Thunderdome. But what do you think? Do they have a chance? And I know Jacksonville's got a lot going on. They're 0-4 right now, but they've got talent on that team. How do you see that game going?
Well, look, the Jacksonville lost 3 games in the fourth quarter. They're the worst fourth quarter team in all of football. They've only scored 3 points in the fourth quarter. They're 1 for 9 overall in the fourth quarter in the games they had a chance to win. They're 1 for 3 in the fourth quarter. They can't get things done. Last week, they have the ball back from Houston with 3:50 to go in the game and can clinch the game and put the game away. They run the ball on first down, then they throw 2 incomplete passes. If they run it both times there, maybe they eat up enough time where they win the game, but Houston comes right down. I was impressed with Richardson from the first throw last week, where he just threw a bullet right to Michael Pittman, and it was unbelievable. To me, he's got to play more, but I think Flacco really gives him some continuity and stability, and you could see how good of a play caller Shane Steichen is and a play designer Shane Steichen is. To me, this game's going to come down in Jacksonville will Jacksonville run the football? ATN and Bigsby are really good runners. They can run it. But Peterson gets tired. If you stop one run, he'll start calling passes. And the next thing you know, and everybody in the league knows it. And so, but they've got to run the ball in Jacksonville. They can't be a team that throws it all the time. And I know they want to do that. They paid all this money to receivers, whether it's Kirk or Thomas and Gabe Davis. But and they get Ingram back this week. But to me, this is the season for Jacksonville. Last week, Peterson blamed the players, said, hey, they're accountable too, which they are, but you never do it publicly, right? You never do it. You got to make plays. But this game will come down to the fourth quarter, and if it does, I don't know how you like Jacksonville. They haven't made a play in the fourth quarter so far all year.
I appreciate everything that was said. I had to run to the bathroom right there. There was almost a little bit of trouble. T.J. Watt was not on the stat sheet. Chuck was right there. There's a lot of conversation there.
He wasn't on it for a reason.
Well, yeah, they hugged him. They wanted to show him love. Welcome to Indianapolis, the city of hospitality. Too. Okay, we are going to give you a hug, and that's how it goes. Shane Steichen, though, great coach. I think he's a phenomenal coach. Joe Flacco goes in there. Offense, we're A-okay. Because now, Anthony Richardson, you said you thought he played well early. Beautiful ball. He's had a couple of those. There's a bunch of stats coming out that he averages like the furthest pass attempt, but he also has the lowest completion percentage as well. So there's a lot of that type of stuff going on. He doesn't play a lot of ball. He hasn't played a lot of ball.
To me, Richardson's like the amateur golfer, right? He goes to the course and he plays 18 holes and he has one great hole and he can't wait to play again. And then he has so many bad holes you lose sight of it.
That's a good analogy.
It's really good.
That's what it is. I love the kid. The kid's athletic. I'm not being negative, Pat. I'm being positive with you. But
no, I'm that golfer you're talking about, and I suck at golf so bad that I actually stopped playing. Yep. I said, I'm not doing this anymore.
I can't believe you stink at golf, but that's just you don't. But to me, there's always a shot that brings that golfer back, right? And to me, Richardson, when he makes that throw to Pittman, you're like, okay, he's back. He's got it. And then he has 10 throws where you're like, what's going on? I think Shane Steichen could be one of the best coaches in the league if he ever gets game management in it. I mean, he gave Pittsburgh the door to open up. He throws the ball twice in the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh's got a chance to come back. They had the bad snap, which cost them. But I think he's got the potential to be a really outstanding head coach if he becomes a head coach. Right now, he's a really good offensive coordinator. He's got to morph it into that head coaching office and really take over. This is going to be a challenge for their defense because they've played better defense the last 2 weeks, but they're going to have to play their best defense this week to win down there. And remember, heat and humidity are a problem down there.
Yeah,
it's a factor.
The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014.
Oh,
so it's been problematic. That's a tough barn down there for the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, that's just it has been.
Trevor Bank,
and I hope Trevor Bank is a problem for the Indianapolis Colts. Nobody else seemingly, but the Indianapolis Colts have battled. It will be a great AFC South matchup. And you're talking about that snap foo that happened with Justin Fields in the fourth quarter. We'll take it, and that's because the Loud House was so damn intimidating.
Yeah.
I hope this Colts team is a real deal. I hope Anthony Richardson's a real deal. I don't like his answer yesterday that he gave, saying the people that are talking about him getting hurt, if they were to come in and get hit by people going 20 miles an hour, they'd be hurt too.
Probably.
It's like my mom would get hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. We're all wondering. Why is this guy every game he plays in seemingly not finish the game? Like,
I mean, if he were to come out and drink 20 beers and smoke a pack of cigarettes, he'd probably get hurt too.
Bingo. Tim poured some concrete yesterday, so he might not be able to take a hit.
Boom.
You pouring concrete? I don't know if you got the ability.
We're all good at some things. I'm not running into defenders.
No, I am an Anthony Richardson fan. I think there is so much upside that is awesome. But like when that play happens, we in the stadium think, okay, he's done. He's got he's got to be done for. And then all of a sudden he comes back and he's good. And then it's like now he's day to day. And it's like last year there was a certain times where we thought he was done and then he was good. And then it's like there's a lot of these moments that are happening over the last 2 years. But I'll say when he's playing, he's electrifying.
So good.
He is so good. Joey Flacco though knows what everybody's doing at all times.
He does.
That's what Joey Flacco
No matter
does.
what.
Joey Flacco football.
We got a team. In our defense, you talk about our defense, we have like 3 of the top 5 tacklers in the NFL flying around at this point playing great. Zaire, EJ Speed. EJ Speed's about to break an NFL record. I mean, we got the team. DeForest Buckner being out's not good. We need to get past Jacksonville. Okay, as we come upon a hard out here, I think you've been hot giving us picks as of like the Italians have been doing great on this particular program, giving picks. Chuck's 4-0 against the spread on Thursday night. What are some picks we should be looking at this weekend in your eyes?
You know, I think the Bengals, I think it's an interesting game. I know it's got to be quick. The Bengals can throw it. I'm not sure the Ravens can defend the throw very well. I think Burrow, with having T. Higgins back and the way Chase is playing, getting 2.5 at home, I think is a really good play. It'll come down to the fourth quarter in this game. I think there's no doubt. Look, I think Denver's defense is going to give the Raiders all sorts of trouble. Denver's defense was good. I worry about Bo Nix consistently on offense, but man, this Denver defense is unknown. They're healthy, and they get after the quarterback. You can ask Aaron. He'll tell you that.
Okay, so Bengals in Denver. We appreciate the hell out of you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one. I love the Ram truck too, Pat, by the way. Love it. Looks good on you.
Hey, thank you. It does. It's a good-looking truck. It's power. That's what it sounds like when you turn that diesel engine on. Ram trucks. You need one. Or get fucked. They didn't say that.
No, but the luxury you want, capability you need,
and the power you need. We appreciate the hell out of them. Ram trucks. Get one or give fucked. All right, we appreciate it. Lady Michael Lombardi. Thank you. That is not from the Rams trucks team, but sentiment is true from us.
Something to think about.
Beautiful trucks. Jeez Louise. That thing was awesome yesterday.
Sick.
So sick.
Had it in four-wheel drive low, too, early. Obviously, that was a little bit of a different experience. Had to figure out all the buttons. Had to figure out where everything was. That thing was low.
I like the vertical touchscreen.
Yeah. Tall. Easy to connect.
Yes, which is huge.
Which is a huge deal. I travel a lot. Rental cars, hard to connect. This Rams truck, easy to connect. Speaking of, we'll connect with AJ Hawk on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change your life.
Hello and welcome to Office Championship Wrestling live in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Carolina. Tonight, we have a straight to hell match in which the Devil will battle against our office wrestler, Dylan Boston. You might be wondering how we got here. Let's find out right now.
And now, we have to make a deal with the Devil.
Yeah, no big deal. Classic trial by combat situation. We got our champion, Dylan Bostic. All he's got to do, win the match, 1, 2, 3, and we're home safe.
The only man that would take the job to protect us from the Devil himself, Dylan Boston.
Like you mentioned, Pat, there's probably about 5 or 6 other guys we'd rather have in this position, but we'll take Bostic, I guess.
Not only are all of our souls on the line, the Office Championship Wrestling Championship, presented by Natural Light, is also on the line.
Jesus, the Devil's trying to put Bostic straight to hell!
I do not want to go
Good God, no!
Don't do it!
Good God, no! Come on, Bostic, Pat!
Oh, no! Oh, my...
I'll see you in hell, Pat. The goddamn Easter Bunny's out here! What the hell's he doing here?
The Easter Bunny is obviously here to help Dylan Bostic. Wait a minute. No!
Oh, no!
The Easter Bunny's been on the Devil's side this whole time. Jesus Christ! Jesus Christ!
What the hell's Jesus Christ doing here?
The power of Christ is compelling Dylan Bostic.
Look at this, Pat! Jesus Christ is bringing Bostic back to life! Jesus is going insane! And now Bostic's kicking wholesale ass in the ring!
Jesus Christ has come to help Dylan Bostic defeat the Devil and defeat the Easter Bunny. What's gonna happen here?
Good God Almighty, it looks like he's going up in the scissor lift!
Jesus is lifting the scissor lift! Jesus is now telling Bostic to come down from
Don't do it, Bostic! Don't do it! Oh my God! Bostic's dead! He's dead! You can't tell from home, but that scissor lift is about 8 stories up, Pat!
80 feet in the air! Oh wait! He's tuning up the bed! The Devil!
Super kick! Into the casket! The Devil goes down! The Devil goes down!
He shuts the casket! Straight back to hell! The Devil goes straight back to hell, where he belongs!
With the assist from Jesus Christ of Nazareth!
Dylan Bostic saves the PMI office's souls and wins the OCW Championship right here!
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this NFL Week 5 Thursday kickoff. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football! We are so pumped that the NFL is kicking off its Week 5 this evening in an NFC South battle that we'll be talking about until it happens. Now, there's obviously a lot of other stories happening around sports, like baseball's having a big one.
Yeah, baseball.
Baseball's having a big one. We'll be joined by a massive Mets fan to talk about last night's 3 wild card series were happening. Or 4 wild card series were happening. 3 of them are done, okay? 2-0 sweeps, best of 3. One of them, Mets, Brewers go into a 3rd game. Mets could have ended this thing last night. Instead, they lose in devastating fashion, and Mets fans start to think to themselves, here we go again. We make it to the postseason, we get to play in the postseason, and then we lose immediately, and we don't get to enjoy postseason. We'll be joined by a Mets fan to get his take on how the baseball playoffs are going, how the night should go, and also what should we be thinking about on who might win the entire damn thing. Baseball has been electrifying.
Oh, yeah, baseball.
Also, Methy played last night.
Yes, he did.
Against the Columbus Crew in the nicest barn in the MLS, I was told by the commentators last night.
MLS?
One of them sounded like Tony Meola. I don't know if it was Tony Meola.
It was Tony.
Okay, I thought I heard Coach talking on the call on Fox Sports. Messi and Miami get a massive win. Methy gets 2 goals last night in his 3rd game back from the injury that we all saw happen down there on the field in Miami when Conceição was battling. He had this goal. They reviewed it for a potential handball. Turns out he has the dexterity in his shoulder to get that thing perfectly down. 1 touch, how you doing? Goal, pass the goal. That's the coach going, review it. And then moments later, he would hit a free kick, bend it around the wall. Everybody knew it was coming, including the goalie. It still goes in. That's Methy football. He's played 17 games this year. He has 17 goals now.
Wow.
Is that good? I don't know. You tell me. And also, they had a watch party down in Miami. Everybody's bought in. They won a championship of some sort, too. Joining us now is the man to tell us what championship they won. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
AJ, Inter Miami won something last night. What was it? Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, they played just right down the road, about 20 minutes from where I am now. I know multiple people that actually went to the game, but yeah, they gave him some sort of trophy or whatever. We know it doesn't really matter. They didn't. I get this is like a friendly. I think that's what it was, a friendly trophy, like for a
Clinch
tournament.
the league. It's massive for the playoffs. Damn it!
It's the
number 1 seed in the league.
It's the Porsche Shield.
Come on, dude.
Number 1 seed. So number 1 seed heading into the playoffs. Is
It's
that
a
what you're
Porsche
saying?
Shield,
is
and
how
it's
it works.
sponsored by Audi. What a ball right there. What a ball right there. Just bending it around the guy's ear hole. Boom. Go ahead. How you doing? Yeah. Keep it moving. I'm going to bury this and do Methy football. They won the Porsche Shield, sponsored by Audi.
Supporters Shield.
Oh, so you guys were just putting words together like we knew what the hell that was going to mean.
It's the regular season best team. It's you basically, the best record in the league for the regular season.
So Inter Miami won the Supporters Shield.
They want a handout trophy.
Could still break the points record.
They earned that.
Yeah,
soccer's awesome, man. You just get a you just win championships like week after week after week.
Yes. Well, especially if you're Messi. Yeah, I think he has 46
they've been
trophies.
playing all year. Come on.
What's that?
They've been playing all year to win the league.
The only soccer I've been seeing is when people were climbing through the pipes to get inside. That's the only
MLS rolled right through all those tournaments. Played through the Euros, played through Copa America with whatever players they had.
Who did?
Everybody.
The MLS did?
MLS
Yeah,
never
just keep
stopped.
trucking.
Never stopped.
So dumb.
Don't people get bored with this?
Nope.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Chuck.
Whoa,
It's
Most
just
watched
getting
sport in the world, Coach.
They do.
It's always just getting
I mean,
good
to
now.
AJ's point, I mean, look, how many trophies can we give out?
Well, Methy's got 46 or 47. How many is it? Do you know?
46.
46. Okay.
Including last night.
Just this year
Including
alone.
last night.
The only reason why I know the number is because while I was watching, they were saying that Methy was seeking his 46th cup or something, and they put a graphic up. Now I'm watching this and also paying attention to other stuff going on with the Mets game also playing in the back so that the person we talk to here in a little bit doesn't bitch at me for not seeing what's going on. But that's the most of all time, right? Most?
Yes, sir.
He's the biggest winner in the history of a sport that gives out winner stuff every weekend.
Brady should go play in the CFL and win 5 more championships and say, hey, I won 12 rings, bitch. What do you mean?
So CFL is not the MLS, please.
Yes, you're right. The CFL is a little more advanced.
No.
What?
Easy, pal.
Look, you of all people should know that the Argos don't just
Buddy,
hand out-
I love my Calgary Stampeders, but do
Yes.
not compare
That's
the
state fair
MLS to the
football.
CFL.
That's exactly what it is.
We have the best player in the world, Greg, in the MLS.
Exactly. And now Brady should do the exact same thing Messi's doing because I guarantee you all those players, especially Ronaldo, granted he's in a Mickey Mouse league now too, but I bet all those guys who played in the EPL and in Spain and did all like the real league
What league?
championships are like the EPL, right? Isn't that the English one?
No, what league were you talking about Cristiano was in?
I don't know. It's a Mickey Mouse league.
okay.
I don't,
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
what league
actually. Where
is
is
it?
he?
Where is it?
Where is he? Because it's kind of,
Is it
I haven't seen it.
Is it even a league? Yeah, I don't know.
It's still going.
Tread carefully,
Players
everybody.
getting a lot of money to go over there.
So I saw him at a lot of boxing matches, I think. He's still playing, though.
Yeah, he's on Nasser, whatever, in Abu
Al
Dhabi.
Nasser.
What
Yeah.
Nasser?
Al Nasser.
Oh, God damn.
Not
You can't just throw this out there. Good Lord. Playing on a jail team.
Come on, Foxy.
The thought of Messi playing for the MLS, though, and not just Messi, who else is on that team? Busquets and
Luis Suarez, Jordi Alba. It's pretty much Barcelona's team from like 5 years ago is all on this Inter Miami side.
And when was Barcelona good?
5 years ago.
Okay, so have a little bit more respect for the MLS, okay? Barcelona is now in the MLS. Messi is in the MLS. This is not the CFL of soccer, brother.
Yeah. Look, does the MLS get invited to the Champions League?
They actually, winning this, they enter the World Club Championship.
Is that the Champions League?
It's close, brother. It's not in Europe. You can't. Champions League's only
How many
Europe,
teams
brother.
are there? There's 14,000 teams, I feel like.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's so even more impressive.
How many
We're in the
cities?
WCC, the World Club
How many
Championship.
cities are there in the world? That's how many teams there are.
Yeah,
and
pretty much.
That's so dumb.
Indianapolis, we don't have a chance to get represented up there with the 11. You know, Pittsburgh Riverhounds don't have a chance to get represented.
Why is that?
But Messi will be in the playoffs, though.
Riverhounds went on a run.
What's that?
Messi will actually make the playoffs, correct? That's good for the MLS.
Yeah, they were last year. Now they're first in league standings. Obviously, they got home field too, I believe, is what'll go through it. There's 2 more games left, I think, right?
Yep.
2 more games left in the season. They're going for a points record for the most amount of points in the history of the MLS season. MLS has been around a long time, obviously, in my livelihood. So what they're doing right now is historic. The MLS, you know,
historic run.
Yeah.
Historic run.
It's catching up.
So Messi's team would beat Burnley. We all agree, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
That's a shoot question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's do that game.
I like that.
Would be sick.
They would dominate Burnley. Burnley's a D-League team, bro.
No, D-League.
Burnley would be playing with the Riverhounds. That would be a good game.
No.
That
Yes.
would-
That is the current league that they're in.
That would be a
Gums, who
great
would win,
game.
Gums?
Between Burnley and Inter Miami?
Yeah.
I'm
It'd be a
FaceTiming
match.
JJ right now. I'm
It'd
FaceTiming
be a
JJ.
match.
There's no way it'd be a match. I thought they have Messi. I thought they are
And
Barcelona.
They're a bit of an old firm.
Hey, we're
squad,
live.
bro.
We're live. Okay.
What's up? All right.
Hey, how come you, as the businessman that you are, haven't tried to set up Inter Miami versus Burnley? Let's get Messi versus Watt. Is that possible? And how would your team fare against Inter Miami?
That'd be a great plan. I'd love that plan. Let's get that on the books. I'll get Bex on the phone, and we'll try and make that happen ASAP. Obviously, they got the best player in the world, so it'd be a great challenge for us. But he's rolling. What do you have? 2, 3 yesterday?
2, yeah, 17 goals, 17 games. He's back, free kick, and he won, off his shoulder. But Burnley would fare well or not well against this Inter. We're trying to judge where the MLS is. Let me tell you, Boston Connor called the MLS the CFL of soccer.
Boy.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out where our best kind of match up around the world, which is why we call you. You feel good about Burnley squad taking on Inter Miami?
I mean, you always have to be careful when a team has the best player on the planet in the history of the game.
Bingo. That's the MLS.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly elevates. It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's elevating it. But I mean, overall, I would really enjoy watching that. Actually, I would really enjoy seeing it.
Who wins?
All right, JJ, we appreciate. He's not going to see
CFL. Ask him
the CFL comparison's not fair either, right? For the MLS.
I mean, what did you compare that to? Like, so
NFL is the Premier League, and MLS is the CFL.
I mean, I don't think there's anything. Nobody in the world would deny that the Premier League is a superior league.
Okay, all right, yeah, this guy's got a vested interest. Okay, that guy, we don't need to
seen
hear.
a guy dance around questions like that in quite some time.
Long time, Gums.
I mean, I think you saw it Tuesday, but
nobody wants pink slips. Nobody wants pink slips with the MLS right now. Okay, with what we got cooking.
I think everybody does.
Portland Timbers, brother.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Are the Timbers in it this year? Yeah, they're all right. What about the Sounders?
Okay, let's talk about a few things that happened around the NFL. And before we get an absolute icon to join us, and Al Michaels will be joining us in about 10 minutes or so. There's some NFL stories we have to chat about. AJ, I don't know if you saw this. Jerry Jones went to practice with the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. He showed up in his own chopper and landed right on the field, actually, while they were warming up for practice. And, there's a lot of people on the internet chit-chatting about how Jerry Jones, maybe he's too hands-on. Maybe the way he goes about being an owner isn't the best way to have, wins. Maybe there's too many distractions in the building where they're giving like tours to business partners while the team is working out and in meetings, and no other building that's happening. And Jerry is also known as the guy who was potentially chatting with Jamie Foxx about meat sizes. And then here we are in the middle of a week. He drops down and says, I got the biggest meat of them all. Drops his helicopter on the practice field while the Cowboys are out there. He obviously daps up Dak, who he's very close with, got a deal done with. He CD daps up. CD obviously got a deal done with him. He chit-chats with everybody on the team. Mike McCarthy's in the last year of his contract still. How do you feel about the state of the Dallas Cowboys, the future of the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones landing his chopper in the middle of the practice field? Obviously, if you're a billionaire, you can do whatever the hell you want. And this is a hilarious move straight out of a movie, AJ.
I agree 100%. You're like, you can criticize them all you want. You're Jerry Jones. You're a billionaire. You've built the Cowboys to what they are. Like, they're the face of the NFL, whether people like it or not. Like, people are Cowboys fans all over the planet. So I think this is awesome. Do it. When I first saw this happen, though, I initially thought of Big Mike McCarthy coming from Green Bay when he was head coach in Green Bay for a long time, which is like there's no owner. You're practicing basically in a neighborhood. There's no like glitz and glamour stuff like this. I would love to see the first time Jerry landed that helicopter when Big Mike's there at practice. Like, just if there was a camera on Big Mike the whole time, that would have been some of the best footage ever. Because I bet he is. But couldn't you look at this? What we do? I'm like, okay, we're in the middle of a team run.
A helicopter. Jeez Louise. Never seen one of that. You ever see this before? I've never
maybe seen it. Maybe we could drop me off at home after practice.
Maybe dodge the traffic a little bit. Coach Pagano, 18 years in the NFL, 18 years in college. I mentioned a lot of things that the Dallas Cowboys do while this video was running earlier. The tours that they give around the facility during work days. There's been stories of guys saying they were working out, and then on the other side of a looking window, there's just people doing a tour. I guess there's been obviously a VIP perch on the practice facility that you can buy and get a part of the party deck, seemingly, that overlooks the practice field during days. There's business buildings that are able to be leased out and rented that actually overlook one of their practice fields. Is it talked about amongst the coaches about how at Dallas you're going to have a lot of good things? If you win, you're going to be much more valuable than you've ever been in your entire life because you're on national TV every single week. If you lose, you're going to get dogged, obviously, because you're on national TV every single week. But also, behind the scenes, different than anywhere else, right? Like Dallas is talked about as being different than anywhere else. And how do coaches feel about that inevitably? Like Coach Mike McCarthy, he knew what he was signing up for whenever he went down there?
Absolutely. I mean, there's only 32 of those jobs, right? And there's a line from here to bejesus of coaches lined up to be the head coach.
Where is
Where
do they have a soccer league?
Don't name bejesus.
Yeah,
they do.
There's a line from here to bejesus of coaches lined up to. That's just what that is. That's what comes with the territory. And Dallas Cowboys, America's team. This is how we roll. And Mike wins. They get to the playoffs. They advance in the playoffs, and they offer him another contract. Guess what he's going to do?
Sign it.
He's going to sign it. He's going to get his name on that contract as fast as he can. And all those assistant coaches know it. So you can sit in your meeting rooms or whatever when Jerry's not around or whatever and say, God, we got this access. There's a lot of distractions. That's how it is. But there's so many people that would love to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys or an assistant coach that you know what you signed. We know what we all signed up for.
It's kind of cooled off a little bit with Belichick down on the Cowboys. Remember, that was the thing?
Yeah, big time.
That was a big thing after McCarthy. This is the last year on his contract. He's going to be gone, and Big Mike probably as that helicopter's going down, if I don't got to do this, it's okay. Yeah, in his head, in his little. Yeah. But Belichick was allegedly going to the Dallas Cowboys. Now Belichick's going to the Eagles. That's what people were saying.
That's the one I'm hearing. I'd say I'm hearing the Eagles the most.
Yeah, and by hearing, we're saying there's a lot of people chatting about it. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of people talking about it. What's real, what isn't. We're trying to keep journalistic standards, but there's a lot of people journalistically that lie, seemingly, and are wrong on a absolutely daily basis whenever you're following news breaking. But Belichick to the Eagles is very, very, very popular right now on the internet. He's living at NFL Films, I think, which is in Philadelphia. So there's been people seeing him like he was seen at the Philadelphia airport last night or 2 nights ago. And people were like, Bill Belichick's in Philadelphia. What's that all about? Is he meeting with Laurie? Is he potentially going to be your next Eagles coach? And that's how much everybody hates Nick Sirianni right now as the head coach of the Eagles, which comes with the territory of being in Philadelphia. But Belichick being out there is now just the thing that's going to be dangling over every coaching situation. Every single one. It's legitimately going to be all year.
I've also been seeing some stuff of him to the Jags as of late, just because of the expectations the Jags have and people thinking, great team. They're just not coaching-wise has been a little bit of a problem. And a lot of people have been saying, hey, could see him in Jacksonville next year, which would be pretty awesome, especially just because Florida, Bill, making that his
Oh, man.
The Urban Meyerville, they turn into Bill Belichickville.
Dahn, yeah.
Dahn. That would be so sweet.
So that's an interesting thought because Shad Khan would just have to fire his son.
Yeah.
Right, from the chief football strategist.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because we heard that there was potentially some places that didn't want to have to fire the amount of people that they would have to fire if Bill Belichick came in because Bill Belichick's general manager, Bill Belichick runs scouting department, Bill Belichick president of Bill Belichick head coach, everything like that. There was allegedly, whenever Bill Belichick was doing the coaching rounds or potentially doing the rounds, that was an issue. Down in Jacksonville, Tony runs he's chief football strategist, right?
Bingo.
He's not going to give that up.
So Shad would have to do it. He would have to fire his son? Or do you
What does that mean, though? Is that GM? What does that mean?
He's calling undrafted free agents. I mean, I've seen it on the documentary. He's calling them, recruiting them, scouting them, loves what he's seeing.
Yeah, but
tell me what a cover
Balky's
two
the
is.
GM down there, right?
I don't know. I don't know who answers to who.
I think he might
Yeah,
be
who
assistant.
reports to who?
Well, you know.
I mean, everyone reports to Tony.
Blood before water.
Yeah, Tony's blood. I mean, that's your kid. Yeah, Tony ain't going nowhere.
You think they're giving out CFS titles?
All the time that you guys have spent with Coach Belichick now and this new role, this new life he's living, it seems like he's living his best life right now.
Sure.
Like all that narrative around him, like he's going to want full control. He's going to want to be this. He's going to want to. It seems to me like
not real.
Well, that
He never said that.
I don't
He
think
never
so.
said that.
Yeah, that got dispelled kind of after the Atlanta thing.
Yeah.
Because during the Atlanta interviews, he was like, I don't need full control. I'm good coming in and just being a coach. But the whole scouting department thing, that was real, allegedly. Like, hey, I got 20 other people that are coming with
My
me.
people.
Yeah, to do those other jobs. But he never said
Which
he
is
wanted
normal,
full.
I think, right? But
Yeah.
that would be a normal move that somebody would do. I guess that would be not a normal coach move, though.
Yeah.
That'd be a normal general manager move. So if you're not making
if you're not going to
general manager move, you're making just coach move. Do you have the ability to say, I need all these scouts?
Fire all those guys.
I'm intrigued. Because if it is Jacksonville, Shad Khan's been looking for a winner.
Oh, yeah.
Waiting for a winner. He's invested a lot down there. You know, like their games were going to England on a regular basis. Everybody thought their team was going to go to London. And then he started investing like a lot into the Jacksonville Stadium, Jacksonville Town, the practice facility that they were going to build overnight. And then the amount of money he spent on players. I mean, the Christian Kirk thing is what started the entire wide receiver market change. It's like, if that would get him a win in his eyes, maybe he would do it. But you're right. Bill Belichick is enjoying his life right now. Does he want to get back and get that record, do you think?
I think so.
He wants to take the right job, though. I don't think he's just open to taking any job either.
100%.
I still think like Pete Carroll, too. I still think Pete Carroll is another guy that.
Not a bad idea.
Under the radar completely because he's
I know Gruden wants a gig, too.
True.
So awesome.
Got me feeling nicey.
Gruden's 10 years younger than those guys, though, too.
He's making content right now. A lot of it.
It's amazing. I know. I stumbled upon it like a week ago.
You forget how good of a talker he is about football. Like, you forget that, like, Monday Night Football, whenever he was the guy, it was like must watch. He's just doing podcasts. So whenever he starts cutting football promos into the one single camera, terrible lighting, absolutely
brutal,
little to no effort of editing or anything, it's just captivating. Why? Because it's little Chucky going bananas on a screen again, talking about football. And boy, the passion of football just like radiates through. The other day, he was sweating pretty profusely. He goes, I just got done watching Jaden Daniels film, man. It's like,
you can tell he loves ball. He loves ball.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm sweating. It was like, all right. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who loves ball. He's been calling it forever, literally our entire lives, pretty much. His voice is over some of the biggest moments in the history of sport. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime and the voice of sports over the last, I don't want to age you, half century. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Michaels.
You know, I really wanted to come with my finest tank top.
Yep.
But I couldn't get it out of the dry cleaner.
Yeah, I understand. I appreciate that. You starch that bad boy too? Get that thing stiff across the chest a little bit?
Try to, baby, you know. Listen.
Okay.
Oh, the other way. Yeah. Whoa! Hey, you're jacked out. Obviously, still on top of it. You calling Thursday Night Football. We've got a chance to chat with you over the last, couple years as it has happened. How do you feel this season? How do you feel about where the NFL is, and how do you feel about tonight's matchup? It's a huge one down there in the NFC South, Al.
Yeah, because the NFC South has been, anybody's ball game over the past couple of years. I think it will be again this year. I'm not sure Carolina would be in that mix, but obviously you put these two teams tonight and New Orleans in that mix. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about Baker Mayfield. I think he is, you talk about, Bill Belichick in the last segment living his best life. I think Baker Mayfield is probably living his best football life right now. In Cleveland, it started out hot. He became a national, celebrity in a way, which is hard to do in Cleveland, but he's doing progressive commercials with his wife, Emily, and that ends, not the way he wanted it to. They bring in Watson. They trade him to Carolina. That's pretty much a disaster. You know what turned him around, Pat? That night in Los Angeles on Thursday Night Football 2 years ago. He comes in 48 hours with Sean McVay and with Liam Cohn, who is now his offensive coordinator. He leads them on that 98-yard drive at the end of the game to beat the Raiders. That was a reset for him. And right now, he played very well last year, turned that into a 3-year, $100 million contract. Off to a good start this year. I'm excited to watch him play tonight.
A lot of fun for Baker watching him do everything that he's doing. And that last week with the situation with Tom Brady about the building and the vibe, and then Tom Brady on the call, and then for him to show up and play the way he plays, it's like this is the greatest form of Baker Mayfield. To your point, let's go to the other side, Al. Kirk Cousins down there in Atlanta. And obviously we all had a reaction whenever they draft Michael Penix with the number 8 overall pick after giving Kirk Cousins, fresh off an Achilles, $180 million deal before he even gets in the building. New head coach, new operation. Is it going to be Belichick? It ends up being Coach Raheem Morris, who we love. We love Raheem. They make a couple big-time plays. What are your thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons right now, and how have the conversations gone with team organization this week and lead up to the game?
I think they're one of the more mysterious teams in the league right now. They're 2-2. Every game has been close. They could be 4-0. They could be 0-4. I think, Cousins, don't forget he's coming back from an Achilles, and not only an Achilles. I mean, Rodgers had his Achilles on opening day last year, and Cousins had his halfway through the season. So he is not all the way back. I think they really have to get Kyle Pitts a lot more involved, the tight end. For years, everybody thought he'd be the guy. Couple of pretty good running backs right now. The defense is good. Raheem Morris, I think Raheem Morris has brought a certain energy to that team. The vibe around that team right now is very, very good. This is a big game tonight because, it's early in the season. You're not going to win the Super Bowl or lose the Super Bowl in week 5. But all of a sudden you'd be 2 games back right now if they lose, to Tampa, and then they get them again in Tampa in 3 weeks. Big game for them tonight. I expect them to play well. And also the fact that, you've got – it's a veteran team. It's a veteran team with a very good quarterback. It's an interesting case, though. We always talk about the Penix thing and what did they do and what did that really mean. But don't forget, Green Bay did that with Favre and Rodgers. Green Bay did that with Rodgers and Jordan Love. We've seen this happen before. This is not the first time we've been down that road.
Yeah, and I think, Rodgers and Brett had been in the building. Kirk, first time in there, but Kirk Cousins seems like the perfect guy to win over a locker room while also being a mentor for Penix underneath. I love Kirk Cousins. That Quarterbacks documentary series on Netflix made me a Kirk Cousins fan for life, brother, and excited to watch him take another primetime game. Al, speaking of primetime games, you would be in any Hall of Fame that you wanted to be whenever it comes to broadcasting right now. Probably 10 years, 15 years ago, you would have made it into any Hall of Fame that your name was put up for broadcasting. You'd be able to get into any steakhouse, never eat any vegetable, any meat, in any town, in any place on earth. You'd be able to get in because you're Al Michaels. I just saw you checking notes. You're still preparing as if, this is like 20 years ago for these games. You're still so emotionally invested in the day-to-day work of this whole thing. Can you explain to me why? Can you explain to me why at this point you're still so invested on the day-to-day, the process, the meetings, the notes, everything like that, Al?
I liken myself to, and I've talked to like a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of guys who played football for a long time, and I think there's an appreciation of what you do as, your career moves on. And, I don't have a million years left in my career. I know where I am. in terms of where it would be on a graph. So I'm just trying to suck as much joy out of this as I can. I also feel like an obligation if I'm going to do this, and I've been lucky, this is 39 years of doing the National Football League in prime time, 20 on Monday, 16 on Sunday, and now 3. I owe it to the audience. I owe it to the fans to give them my best. So I want to prepare. And one of the big differences between when I started and now is the fans know so much more than they used to know. They have so much more information. They also have a lot more misinformation. So, of course, you got to disabuse them of that, which is important. So, but I feel every time I go on the air, my whole career is at stake. Now, I know, I've got the body of work and all that, and I completely screw up. Okay, he screwed up. Get rid of him. It's time for him to go, blah, 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 all of that. But I truly feel my mindset is you got to be as good tonight as you've ever been, maybe even better. And I've talked, it's funny when I talk to like Tom Brady toward the end of his career and other, athletes, Drew Brees, they sensed an appreciation of what it was they knew it wasn't going to last forever. So just get as much enjoyment out of it as you possibly can at the end. And that's where I am right now.
Al Michaels' voice on things just makes you feel good. It's been happening in the sports world for so long. But on that note, Connor has a question for you about a reaction that happens seemingly every single week.
Yeah, Al, you've talked about this to us before, and I just kind of want to hear the answer again, because every week people are always like, why isn't Al Michaels losing his mind for a first quarter CD Lamb touchdown against the Giants, which is what happened last week. But can you explain just kind of how you call a game and knowing the importance of the big moments? Because that has been a conversation by people on the internet. Like, hey, does Al Michaels realize that was a, big play touchdown, even though, we all know there are more big plays to come?
I don't scream the game at you. I don't holler the game at you.
Never have. Though, right?
No, never have. And, when people go back and they say, Pat Summerall was one of the greatest of all time, and he was. Remember how Pat did the game? 2nd and 5, gain of 3, right? He didn't blow you out. You have to save it for the moments. And I think when you look at like Joe Buck, you look at Jim Nantz and myself, and we did 17 of the last 18 Super Bowls. We don't scream the game at you. We don't holler the game at you. But there's a whole bunch of people around the country. Look, it's a very diverse country of 330 million people. And there are some who want you to, whoa, it's 4-2 in the basketball game. Whoa! If it's 4-2, where do you go at 102 to 101? Where do you go?
Yeah.
You got to leave some room.
Yeah.
So, CD Lamb scores a touchdown. So what am I supposed to do? Scream my guts out? Anyway,
Al, it's my fault. I want to let you know I'm one of the people why it's my fault though. I'm very at everything, so I am a part to blame with that entire thing. But also, I think there's a lot of people that maybe, I don't want to say newer to sports, but probably a little bit newer to sports. They don't know that is what makes Al Michaels telling a story in there, and not every moment is the climax of the story. Like there is others that are on their way, which is why you'd make it into any Hall of Fame that you wanted to. And I think it's a beautiful thing, legitimately.
Well, you got to leave some room, like I say. I mean, the game's going to start. It's a 60-minute game. If you scream your guts out in the first 3 minutes, where are you going for the next 57?
Well, if it means anything, that's why I started staying on my chair so I get a little higher. The ground wasn't enough. I started yelling about it all. Tone Diggs has a question for you, Al.
Yeah, Al, 2 weeks ago you did the Patriots and Jets game, and boy, did that look like a different Jets team than it did this last weekend. And now, obviously, there's a bit of drama in New York between Saleh and Aaron, maybe with the cadence and stuff like that. What were your vibes when you got to speak to Aaron and Coach Saleh and just the whole Jets organization as a whole? And do you think they should get Devontae?
Well, I think they felt really good before that game, even though they had lost in San Francisco the week before. They played extremely well that night. And actually, they had lost in San Fran, but then they'd won a game. So that night, they were playing a team that was overmatched and outmanned. The Patriots aren't. They're just not very good. The offense was not very good that night, obviously. And Rodgers was able to look like Rodgers. So, that's a fascinating team to me right now. Who are they? What are they going to be? Now they got to go to London. They got to meet the Vikings over there. That's going to be a tough one. But, if Aaron can look the way he looked that night and the defense can play the way it's supposed to play, that's a good team. Otherwise, who knows what happens to them.
Davante Adams, he's potentially on the move. He's potentially on the move with the whole situation. What do you think?
I was watching you guys earlier, so let's see. The internet, which is 4 guys 15 years old writing TikTok stuff in their dorm room. Right.
Potentially.
They got him go. I'm surprised he's not going to the Canadian League.
No, don't even get us into that.
Stan Peters could use a wideout, Al.
We already talked
Stan
about
Peters
it.
could use a wideout, brother.
The Rough Riders aren't getting Davante Adams. Neither
Look
of
out, man. But the Stampeders, baby. Who would have
okay.
Hell yeah.
The Alouettes.
But there is in the world, you've been around this world a lot longer, obviously, than us in the sports media world. It's like insiders who have sources, and it's like whenever each insider that has a different source seemingly is all reporting like same things, we tend to believe it's true, but we've been got. Obviously, a lot of times. Insiders haven't got a lot of times. Sources, anonymous ones, have been wrong before, actually. That is something that actually has happened in the entire world. Journalistic standards didn't know that. But it feels like Davante is going to the Jets. Are you reading the same tea leaves? Do you keep up with all of the day-to-day drama that takes place while preparing for these Thursday night games?
I do know. I keep up with it, but I don't know what's happening on the inside. I have no more information than what I have read. I guess there are certain places he could go. It's got to be, what kind of a deal can they make? Obviously, because of the Rodgers connection, a lot of people are thinking that he's going to go to New York. Pittsburgh's in the mix. I mean, almost everybody is in the mix at a certain point. I don't know, but it's pretty clear. I mean, he's not been thrilled playing in Vegas over the past year and a half, maybe 2 years. So it's probably time to let him out the door. But again, you just don't let a guy out the door without getting value for him. Yeah. So you got to make a trade that makes sense for you as well as the other team. Yeah, I don't know where he's going.
There's always business to be had there, but it feels like it's going to take place, especially with Coach Antonio Pierce calling him 17, not calling him his name. It's like, is Tom Telesco, the general manager, and AP at the point where they're like, we just need to move on from. We are trying to build our own culture right now. We are trying to do this. Let's go ahead and not let this continue to be a thing. But whoever picks up Davante is going to be in a great spot. Speaking of a great spot, there are some people that are on the right side of some stuff. Go ahead, Bruce.
Yeah, Al, your call of the Brandon Aubrey missed field goal and the lead up to it for the Giants cover last week was awesome. How surprised were you that Aubrey missed that field goal? And how great is it to kind of have a little bit more freedom in those significant to some moments?
Well, yeah, I was surprised that he missed it because the guy hadn't missed all year, and he's making them from downtown Paramus. But I know what you're talking about. You're talking about I knew what the spread was, obviously, but I've known that through the years. I had more fun during the time when you weren't supposed to make any reference to gambling. Where I was kind of like the rascal and all of that, and people would say, well, the league is getting upset. Yeah, they're getting upset, but in the meantime, they know everybody's betting. So it's like, you shouldn't do that, but, we're going to turn a blind eye to it. Now everybody's doing it. I mean, people are betting on, 3rd and 4. So, but I can still sneak in those little things that I were able to sneak in the past. But, it's not as if I'm a rascal anymore. I'm a guy who, totally has always understood what it is. You get to the end of the game. I mean, who's watching the end of a game in a blowout game? You know who's watching the end of the game.
Oh, yeah.
Over, under, and a line. Real simple. So, those are my boys out there. I gotta.
Hell yeah.
You're still a rascal, Al. Al, you're still a rascal. Even though everybody else is doing it, you're still one of the original rascals, right? I think we would all say.
Absolutely.
Yes. Al Michaels is a rascal.
The OGOR.
Him and Musburger were the rascals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Now it is like if the commentator doesn't know, it's almost like, what are you?
Yeah, what are we doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah, are you even paying attention in this entire thing? Go ahead, AJ.
Al, when you were young in your broadcasting career, did you ever feel pressured to, take on a persona or play like a character? And also, is there any young kids coming up or even other, older established guys that try to come to you for maybe advice and ask you like how they should handle things?
There have been a number of them, and I'm very honored by that because when I was starting out, I had guys that I would talk to. Vince Scully was one, the greatest baseball commentator of all time. Got to know him extremely well as a friend. I loved Kurt Gowdy going all the way back to the years when he was doing Super Bowls and World Series and NCAA finals and the rest. So, I had my guys that I had access to. And I've talked to a number of young guys right now. It's kind of a different business. When I was breaking in, there weren't that many opportunities because you had 3 network stations, maybe a couple of independents. You had the teams, obviously. You could become a team announcer. But you didn't have the proliferation of cable and internet and all of the rest. So there are so many more jobs available to the kids who come up these days than there were. But again, it's more diffused. But anyway, I'm always there for anybody who wants to, get better, learn a little bit something. It's fun being a mentor, I got to tell you.
You ever tell anybody they got no shot?
Who said?
No, you. Have you ever said to anybody, you got no shot? You got no chance. You should probably hang
Try
it up.
something else. Yeah.
You don't have
Maybe
to say
somebody-
the person. You don't have to say the person's name. But has that ever happened where you've been like, I don't know if this is for you?
No, you can't say that to somebody. You got to be, yeah.
Maybe radio.
I've said that to some stock analysts and who tell me to do something. I go, you've got no shot, baby. You've got no shot.
Al Michaels living the high life. I think that's why it's tough for me to do those like punting camps and kicking camps. There's like these punting camps that these high schoolers go to, and they're basically like promised that they're going to get scholarships. You go work with this guy, you go to this camp, you're going to get a scholarship to the next level, you'll be good. I went to a couple of these, and I can't lie. You got no shot. You got no chance. You're 17 years old. Your leg is too weak. You're never going to be able to do this. You shouldn't do this. You're wasting your parents' money. Like that. So I just said, I'm not the right guy. Sounds like you're the right guy. That's good news. Hey, Al, you're a good guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Al, you're a good guy. I was just ruining dreams out there. I didn't say it ever, but I had to resist the urge, and I said I don't need to put myself in that position. You're a good leader, good veteran. I appreciate that. Chuck Pagano has a question for you about tonight, Al.
Hey, Al, is there a matchup or two that you're anticipating, you're excited about tonight? I know there's some injuries on both sides of the balls here. Gadecki, the right tackle, has been out for the Bucks, and School has been in for him. He struggled at times. Maybe Dahn they put over there and get after him a little bit. They've talked about Jamal Dean maybe on the defensive side for the Bucks struggling at that corner spot, that right corner spot. Is there a matchup or two that you're most anticipating for tonight?
Well, I think, anytime you've got Evans and Godwin, that's a tough matchup for any secondary. And how do you want to work these guys? And Godwin's working more this year out of the slot. Evans, of course, is on his way to the Hall of Fame. Also, they're down 2 receivers tonight, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with Sterling Shepard, who has come up off the practice squad as the number 3 guy. And, of course, he goes back to the college days, at least 1 year at Oklahoma with Mayfield. So I think that's an interesting matchup on one side of the ball. On the other, Kyle Pitts, we're talking about Kyle Pitts. Mm-hmm. They got to get him into the game. I mean, it's very, very important. He didn't have a single reception last week. This is a guy, when he came into the league, as you know, Chuck, was a guy who was going to, redo what a tight end could do and would look like.
First top 5 pick since Ditka?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
at tight end, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's that?
I think Pitts was first top 5 pick for tight end since Ditka.
Oh, right. Right. Pitts was the overall number 4 pick back in 21. Number 4.
They put him into Mount Rushmore at tight ends before he even played it down. Like and by
did.
I mean, people on the internet, it's like he's in multiple quarterbacks now, multiple different head coaches, multiple different offense coordinators. Not going great this year. Let's maybe get it going a little bit. That'd be great for all parties.
Remember Jeremy Shockey when he played with the Giants?
Oh, one of the goats.
Jeremy Shockey had a tremendous debut game in a preseason game. I think we did it in Canton, Ohio. And all of a sudden, Jeremy Shockey looked like the greatest tight end in history. And I'll never forget what Bill Parcells said after the game. Put away the anointing oil. Right? It was just perfect.
Put away the anointing oil. We do that every day.
Right? Because we anoint everybody after 28 minutes these days, right?
Yeah, before they even do
Put
anything.
the anointing oil away.
Hey, you should see Jaden Daniels, though. He's got a chance to be greatest of all time.
Yeah, he might be.
He does.
Last question here from us, and we can't thank you enough for taking the time. When you talk about greatest of all time, hitters in the history of baseball just passed away. And I believe you were on the call for numerous games for old Pete Rose. I know the story very well. Do you have anything to say about his passing and what he did on the baseball diamond?
I did the Cincinnati Reds in 1971, 2, and 3. So I watched Pete play 500 games and did a bunch more in the years on Monday Night Football. I knew Monday Night Baseball. I knew Pete very, very well. He was the embodiment of what an athlete should be on the field. All out, balls out, all the time. I watched him play in the middle of a spring training game in Tampa in March of '72. I watched him in the 7th game of the World Series in 1972. He played one way, all out. And he was a guy, he was all baseball. I mean, there was none of this bat flipping and, the taunting and all the stuff that you see today, all out. He also, when I would go to the stadium, Riverfront Stadium in those years, the first thing I would do is I'd go by Pete's locker because there was an energy field, a gigantic energy field that emanated from that locker. And remember, you had a bunch of alpha dogs on that team. You had Joe Morgan, you had Johnny Bench, the greatest catcher of all time, you had Tony Perez, you had a Hall of Fame manager in Sparky Anderson, but it kind of revolved around Pete. Pete could get everybody up. And I loved just being around Pete. And it's such a shame because this is a guy who should be revered as one of the greatest baseball players in history.
He is.
Instead, we all know it's in the first paragraph of the obituary.
No, he is. Well, I think that has kind of changed over the last couple of days. People remember, hey, especially with where the world is now, can't do it. Yeah. What happened, obviously. But his baseball ability should never be knocked in the entire thing. It should be two separate stories. And I think it is at this point. And I can't thank you enough for sharing your sentiment. Good luck tonight on Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, Al.
Next time, I'm coming back with that tank top, baby. You know that.
Yeah, you know that. All jacked up. All right, maybe tonight do the tank top. I've seen you guys. I see you guys take those jackets off.
Oh yeah.
Loosen up the tie. We'll sit down a little bit. I see you guys up there working a little bit.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Michaels.
Yeah.
Oh, Al. Tie tonight. How we doing with the tie tonight? Tie, we feel pretty good about the tie?
Yeah, I guess so. I think they got to close the roof, so it'll be cool in there. It'll be fine. I don't know. Kirk, it depends on what Kirk wants to do.
Well, what? So no tie tonight. Oh.
No, I'm not saying that. We're beholden to the whims and the wants of our producer, T-Man, Mark Titleman. So
okay.
He says tie, we're wearing a tie.
Oh, tell T-Man we said what's up. Whenever when you tie that tie, is that first time every time, or do you do multiple attempts to get said Windsor, double, whatever the hell it is? Yours is like
double.
Depends on the length. There are some I have to redo 14 times because you don't want the top part of the tie being shorter than the bottom part of the tie.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
you don't want to. You never want to do that.
Yeah, you look like a loser if you do that. You look like a loser.
No, you do. You don't want to do but that. maybe a tuxedo and a cummerbund.
Whoa, yes.
Yep. A cummerbund. Yeah, a cummerbund?
Need it.
With the tail, the jacket with the tail, too.
Around the stomach.
It's a cummerbund. It's not a cummerbund. It's a cummerbund.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say.
WWE title.
It's
like a WWE title.
A come in bun?
Suits, yeah.
Come in bun.
Yeah.
No.
Come in the bun.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying? That's what a tuxedo is? A come in bun?
Uh-huh.
They're normally like a
cummerbund.
Bun.
A cum bind bund?
Yeah, they call it a soggy bun.
Cummerbund.
That makes sense. All right. Maybe a cum in bun. Maybe you do that. All right. We appreciate you. Al, you're the greatest. Thank you for the time.
And on that note, aloha.
Aloha, brother. Mahalo, ladies and gentlemen. Al Michaels.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tie. It's very
Got that squared away.
It's not. You can teach yourself.
You got to watch YouTube. The only way I do is watch YouTube dude tie it, and then I do it 15 times.
Bingo.
But every time you do it, the thing he's talking about with the thing, I mean, it's every single time.
Yeah.
There it
That's
is.
the cum in bun?
Yeah. It's a WWE title.
Cummerbund.
Cummerbund.
I like when they're more of a bright color than the suit.
Do those hold up the pants, or those you got belt too?
I think that's just the looks.
Yeah. No belt with the tux usually. But
So is that on top of pants like a back brace, or what is it like?
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah.
It's strictly for swag.
Do you tie it on?
It's got a little clip in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, like a bra, like a brassiere.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
bra.
You guys are wearing hip bras.
I've never
Don't
worn
you
one.
guys me.
gut bra.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a little fupa bra.
Yeah, a little bit. I hate them, but yeah.
That's what you're wearing. You're wearing a fupa bra.
I had one on at my wedding.
Oh, you got a little fupa bra under. What?
Really? They
cummerbund?
had those in the 40s?
Yeah, that's when they were, right?
Wow.
Watch yourself.
Hey, congrats to you guys. Happy anniversary.
Really?
Happy birthday to Constance, and also happy birthday to Chuck Pagano.
Nice.
Yeah,
It was your birthday yesterday.
Thank you.
That's how you knew it was Constance's. It all kind of came together once I realized that. You're like, wait a second. Is it your birthday too? No, actually, it's mine next week.
So that means
Constance's today. Let's make sure we're doing birthday shout-outs to Paganos.
Yeah.
What he said last
Parents had a very specific month.
Hey, yeah, they did, huh? Like in love. Hey, happy birthday, pal.
Happy birthday, Chuck.
Appreciate you. 64.
Holy shit.
We're happy that we have 64 more years with you because what you do on Thursday Night Football is picking against the spread is something that the world needs to see. With that being said, you're 4-0. Going into tonight, the Falcons are favored by
1.5
at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chuck Pagano, it is time to let the world know who you're picking, why you're picking, how you're picking. Let's dive in.
Let's get some tape, huh?
Hey, let's do it. Let's do the tape.
Want to goose some tape?
Yeah, let's do the tape.
I just checked. All books have moved to 2.
You know, Al was talking about Pitts. I mean, you think about this offense. They bring in Kirk Cousins, draft the young guy, obviously, to develop under Kirk. But you got Bijan, you got Algier, you got 2 great runners, right? You got an offensive line that came into the league or came into the season as like a top 5, right? I think if we had AQ here, he would say, this is a really good offensive line, right?
Yep, last year they were
2 runners. You've got Drake London. You've got Mooney's over there now. I was in Chicago, and Mooney that guy can roll. That guy can play. He can take the top off a damn defense, right?
Yep.
And you got Pitts, so you've got an explosive offense. I just don't know what's clicking yet. You know, who's this offensive coordinator? Is it Zach Robinson?
Yeah.
So you got Zach over there. I know these things take time. Kirk's probably not been in the, as far as, coming back from the Achilles and spending a lot of time with those guys, training camp maybe, whatever. But they've got ability, and they can be explosive. They just haven't done it yet. And then you got this Tampa squad where, Baker's playing lights-out football right now. Al talked about the 2 wideouts, Godwin and Evans. We'll take a look at those guys. Those guys are a tough matchup. They're a tough matchup. But if anybody can do it, think about the secondary from Atlanta.
Okay.
Right? You got A.J. Terrell on one side, right? You got Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, who are regarded as probably 2 of the best safeties in the league. Probably the best safety combo in the National Football League. And they're ball hawks. They can play in the box. They can blitz. They can do a lot of things. And go back to Pitts, right? There's a matchup issue inside for the Tampa Bay defense. Levante David, 13 years, right? Stud. Got 2 sacks. I mean, the guy is playing lights out. KJ Britt's not a cover backer. All right? So if they're going to go in passing situations, they've got this linebacker, number 8. Dennis is his last name for Tampa Bay. I think he's questionable. We need to keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Because he's going to be covering Pitts.
Because
8 on 8.
He's going to be working the middle of the field. And so, KJ in base defense, number 52, he's a really good linebacker. But I don't know if there's any linebacker that can really match up with Kyle Pitts.
Well,
when you look at this, the guy is.
I think KJ Britt might be okay.
Whoa. Don't be looking at stats.
Don't tell the whole story.
Don't tell the whole story.
You think about what Philly just went and did at New Orleans, right?
Yep.
New Orleans put, 44 points on somebody the week before?
Cowboys.
And then Philly goes down there and completely shuts them down. They win that game, 15-12?
Dallas Goedert, the end of the
that defense, right? And now this guy, Bacon, this offense, put 33 on Philly last week.
Calling for everybody's head over in Philly because of it.
Oh, yeah.
Vic Fangio over, they're saying.
We got people. We know people. We love those people. Big Dom, Joey Panunzio, a guy that I grew up
Sirianni,
with.
Fangio. They're calling them the Italian Eagles.
Can you imagine going to a bye week? They're on a bye this week.
They need it.
They
need it. They need to sit down, have some gabagool, maybe some mozzarella.
Go to Italy, maybe?
Mozzarella.
They need all of it. They need all of it, But anyways, what they need to do is figure out how to stop Mike Evans, which they weren't able to do.
So they're going to run a bunch route right here, and you're going to get Mike Evans on CJ-GJ. Now, CJ-GJ is a good linebacker, or a good safety, right? In the box, enforcer. Probably not, this is probably not what you want to end up, having in this situation. Easy tud right here. This is a bunch, double in, 7 route by Mike Evans. He's playing as good as anybody in the league right now. This is a pretty good concept up top. Godwin we talk about. they're going to get this thing protected. The thing about this offense as well, the Falcons, from a pass rush standpoint, they're almost dead last as far as sacks per pass attempt. They've only got 4 sacks on the year. We talked about bringing in Judon. They got Grady Jarrett inside. They haven't produced. But so they're going to have, I think Bake's going to have time. Really?
Point.
I think Baker's going to have time to sit back there
and do stuff like this.
And do some stuff. They got a really good secondary, but you can only cover for so long, Pat.
Yeah, I agree.
And so if Bake has time and he's got time to sit back there, he's going to be able to find this guy. He's going to be able to find Evans. And I loved what Al said about Sterling. Shepard coming back. He's going to get a great opportunity because Palmer and McMillan, I think, is the other guy, the 2 wide receivers that Tampa's missing tonight. Here's a stinger, a nail, whatever you want to call this, coming off the edge. This is a third and 10 situation here. They're going to check, Kirk Cousins, Todd Bowles. We talked about his defense, right? He's multiple, especially on third down. He's going to give you a bunch of different looks. He's going to give you a 3-2 look. He's going to give you a double mug look, double A gap.
Chuck will give his pick on YouTube, ESPN Plus, and TikTok Live. None of us knew that this was about to be a 10-minute ceremony. Okay, we apologize. Follow along, YouTube, ESPN Plus. We'll see you tomorrow. Feel Good Friday. Jeez Louise. TV people just missed it. They should have been watching on YouTube. Should have been watching on YouTube. Yeah. That's on them. Not on. I mean, it's on all of us, but certainly.
So I fucked that up.
No, we got 10 more pieces of clip here.
You fucked it up.
Let's go ahead. Let's make sure we.
It.
No, you did not.
You fucked
Happy
the whole
birthday,
thing.
Constant.
You did great.
You completely fucked it.
No, you did not.
64 is off to a bad start for you, brother.
No, it's not. It's off to a great start. We got more information. We need more information.
Sleepy Chuck.
Vita Vea is back, which is good news for the Todd Bowles defense. He's going to bring multiples.
Yeah, let's get rolling.
Jeez,
let's roll.
Man.
Let's roll these tapes.
The wind's out of his
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Hey, skin like a fucking armadillo,
Okay.
Connor.
Are you, but just
Come
real
on,
quick,
man.
are you waffling now because of
Don't
what
leave Vita Vea on an island. Because this is what's going to happen if you leave Vita Vea on an island, all right? And he's 6'4" and 400 pounds. And he's got feet like a shorebird, too. He can run. Look at this. So they're going to do a great job. They're going to test the protection for the Falcons tonight, believe me.
Athlete.
You got, Yaya. I think that's number 0, right? Diaby coming off the edge.
Yes, sir.
He can roll. So they got dudes. That's number 8. That's the guy I'm telling you that's the best cover backer on third down for the Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
He's questionable, Dennis, tonight. So that'll be interesting to see if he does miss tonight, if he can't play, what's going to go down with that.
There he is on tight end right in the middle of the field.
Locking him down. No wonder.
So this is a nice job here. Again, I think Atlanta's offensive line should be decent. Here's Yaya coming off the left edge, up top, runs a corner, gets the sack.
Bang. First sack of the year.
I think they've got 14 sacks on the year. Again, you're going to get man coverage. You're going to get a bunch of different pressure looks from Bowles. And it's on a short week, and you don't practice. Remember these Thursday night games, Pat.
Walkthroughs.
You got walkthroughs. You got hats on backwards. So, obviously, a lot of the work's being done in the film room. Here's a great play by Cousins in this offense, but you just can't rip a guy's helmet off. You're not going to get away with that in the National Football League, Pat. So hopefully they've worked with this young man and keep his hands down and keep him away from the face and the face mask. Because you're going to get some big yardage plays here. This is a high-low concept. They get it in there, but
tossed it. They even trying to hide it.
Now it's second and a mile.
All right, let's talk about their real threat for the Falcons.
So we talked to, this guy is a weapon. He's actually punted a few more times, than the guy at Washington.
Yeah.
So this guy's got a few more. But this is one of their scores. We talked about Atlanta not being able to put points on the board. Thank God for special teams and defense. So they get this muff. And then this is the key guy that if this Anderson doesn't play, 44 for the Falcons, he gets the interception here. Runs it back for a touchdown. He had 17 tackles in this game. 17 damn tackles.
That's an A.J. Hawk. That's an A.J. Hawk.
That's a Hawk performance.
Wow.
No doubt. That's how you lead the Green Bay Packers in tackling over your career.
Forever.
Forever. Nobody's beaten that. So they get 14 points on special teams and defense.
Not wrong.
And obviously, I think New Orleans gave these guys a chance. Al talked about this team. He is exactly right. They could be 4-0 or they could be 0-4, just like that. Every damn game, like KC, they played to a close game. I think that was a 22-17 game.
Yep. No PI.
So
let's go to the tail of the tape, shall we?
Sure.
So you can look at the numbers here. What's that? Points allowed. There we go. There, it's on the big screen. So 24 points a game on offense, 18 for the Falcons. Points allowed, the Bucs are a little bit better. Turnover margin, which is going to be key in here. Kirk on prime time.
No.
We're gonna see on the next slide, but
real
Bucs are +2. They're -1. Time of possession. They can't sustain drives in Atlanta. They can't put points on the board, and then you can't get off the field on third down on defense. That's why you're 31st in time of possession. They're going to have to fix that to try to have a chance to win this game tonight. Total offense, really close. Total defense, really close. Pass offense, same thing, a few yards here and there. Pass defense, it's close. QBR right now, Bake's 13th, Cousins is 24th in the league in QBR, and then against the spread, Bake's really good at 3-1, and
thank you,
and Kirk's 1-3 this year.
Thank you, Bake, for doing that for us against the spread. Obviously, speaking of quarterbacks.
Oh, and this is just on Thursday Night Football. Baker's record's 4-1. Kirk's 4-6. They've talked ad nauseum about primetime Kirk and his inability to pull out games and win games.
Well, normally it's his teams. It's how his team plays, not just him. That's journalistic standard.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we don't give these quarterbacks any credit, when they lead their teams to victory. So completion percentage on thirds down, you could see it. Passer rating, you can see that. Touchdowns, interceptions, 5-1 for Bake.
Very good.
Prime time, 21-12 for old Kirk.
5 more games.
Yards a game, a lot more yards, and then sacks. So, and then the kickers. I think this one, the line's 1.5 for a reason. I think this is going to be
2.5 now. It's 2.5.
2.5 everywhere.
2.5 now.
All of a sudden, 2.5.
Yeah.
Everywhere's 2.5.
So that means that more money's coming in on the home team.
It's not always.
Sometimes.
No, it's just sharp action. It's got to be reverse line movement here.
Sharp action.
Yeah, because it was moving this way. It was moving that way, and then I would just want big that back this way.
Percentages haven't changed.
So what do they know? We don't know.
You tell me.
They know something.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, what's Coach Corso say? They know something, and I'm with somebody knows something, and I'm with somebody. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're going to do right now?
2 good kickers.
Great.
Very good.
If it comes down to a field goal, either one of these guys.
Young Wade, fresh off a game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From 50.
Hit a 58-yarder.
Yeah.
Look at them, 3 of 3, both of them. Guys are having a great year. 10 of 11 on extra points. Something happened, though, Chase. Something happened. Wasn't for him. 7 of 7 on field goals. That's the only thing that matters. Boys are going to kick well. Boys are going to punt well. Quarterbacks seemingly playing their best football right now. Short week, Thursday Night Football. NFC South battle. Chuck Pagano, who is 4-0 on Thursday nights against the spread. Who do you have, pal?
I'm going with Bake and the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm taking Tampa Bay. I just think on a short week it's really difficult to prepare for this Todd Bowles defense. I think they've had their hiccup against Denver 2 weeks ago where they came in flat and didn't do well. And give Denver's defense credit. They got after him pretty good.
So you're taking a dog plus 2.5 right
I'm
now.
taking a dog.
Okay.
Plus 2.5. David. I'm sorry, not David. Baker Mayfield getting 2.5 points on a Thursday Night Football game. Mm-hmm. Okay, that is certainly something to think about. You go all the way back Thursday night. I think that's where he debuted for Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I think something happened, and Baker Mayfield came out and he unlocked all the Bud Light beer in Cleveland because remember they had the coolers all locked until the Browns win, and then bang, he comes on Thursday night, wins. And the Los Angeles Rams Thursday night, he gets in 48 hours, bam, does his thing. It's like Baker's almost Mr. Thursday night, it feels like. Yep. All of his big moments are in there. He's getting 2.5. I know you couldn't hear all of what Chuck said there because you've been having audio issues all day. AJ, are you rolling with Chuck Pagano or are you rolling with Kirk Cousins and the Falcons at home, favored by 2.5? Can't hear him.
Muted.
You cannot hear me. Oh, no.
Oh, there he is.
There you go.
Yeah, you got me. Okay. We're good. No, but I was saying, when Chuck gets going, I never really know who he's going to choose. I never know where he's going to go because he does like to waffle. We do know that at times. He did not waffle. He stuck with Tampa Bay. I was leaning Tampa Bay going into it. I'm riding with Chuck. Give me Tampa Bay.
I'll take Tampa Bay on the road as well, and we will take a break. On the other side, we will chit-chat about all the news happening around the NFL world. AJ, thanks for making it back for that.
Maybe AJ.
We made it. Good job. Thanks, Z.
Good work, everybody in the back.
Everybody.
Good work, technology.
Hey.
For being greatest thing on earth and worst thing on earth, depending upon what is happening at the moment.
Tampa beat Washington week 1, right? They're 3-1, pretty good team.
Very good team, Washington.
Beat them soundly. Then went to Detroit. I think Detroit's a pretty good team.
Very good.
Top 5 in the National Football League right now.
Yeah.
Beat them 20-16 there. They beat some quality teams now.
Feels like Tampa's a better team. Nobody really knows it, though, because of the magic that's happening down there in Atlanta. 58-yarder, game winner, let's go. He's like, well, that's pass interference. The only reason why they got in range to hit that field goal. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You said watch the tape. You watching highlights, you watching tape. You read narratives, you watching the games. Chuck's making me feel good about this Buccaneers pick, but almost too good at this point.
And
Almost feels too obvious, doesn't it?
Kirk, he better get the ball out of his hand because he's going to get a face full of these damn Buccaneers.
Whoa!
And he can't move.
You don't want the Buccaneers in your face. No. Because when they get bucking, the Buccaneers are rowdy.
Yeah,
Bust on you.
We'll see it here on Thursday Night Football. Yeah. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. Take 5.
Bye.
Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you so much for taking the time where you're contractually obligated to, so I appreciate you guys being here.
I want to be here. I just want you to know.
Come on.
I have watched you do your thing, man. Nothing but respect and praise for you.
Will you touch this? Me too, man.
Way to go, son. Number 2 overall, baby.
Bench, dude. Boys, you're calling a national championship again, Kai Schmidt.
Unbelievable. Should we be here?
No!
Probably not.
No way. I kicked the ball to myself on that.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I kicked the ball to myself.
That's right. Should have told CJ.
Maybe the most athletic thing I've ever done in my entire being. Well, CJ, yeah, happy to see you.
Completely ruined.
Everybody's happy to see you.
Ruined the lot. I picked him.
Really
I picked him to win. I'm all right.
CJ, congratulations on winning the AFC South as a rookie quarterback.
It's a big deal. First time ever with a rookie.
You okay? That's a big deal, CJ. Dude, you're absurd, bro.
Thank you.
For how young you are?
Playing in Indianapolis, that was probably the loudest stadium I played in NFL.
Wow.
That was like a college atmosphere.
How about that?
That's a lot. Pete, you got 2 knees, 2 ankles?
2 knees, 2 ankles, and some big boy pants that slide up around.
Move along like another day. Move along.
Where'd that guy's penis go? That guy had a lot of courage.
Good question.
It's ice cold in there. It's ice cold.
It's the first documented button dick. Game day set.
That's what's being said. I didn't come up with that. That's what's being said.
It was our show, 3 hours, 15 minutes. Then it was a 2-hour gap. Then it was game day, straight in national championship field pass. For 2 schools that are going to be talking about this day for the rest of their lives. Both of these teams being chastised from all different angles. Washington, there's no way this team from the Pac-12 in their last year with Kalen DeBoer as the head coach can continue to win. They're going to stumble somewhere. They didn't. Then you think about Michigan. 2 separate suspensions for their head coach, and all they've done is stay the course. And tonight, banners, rings, reunion conversations forever on the line. What an honor it is to be here. Look at his belt buckle, like it was fat. Belt buckle. Like with some light ranching to do down here in Houston. He comes out of his cuts, he sees people, he shakes them, and he doesn't look anywhere near as small as you would think. He's powerful. I love Blake. A lot of NFL GMs are saying, wait a second, is Michael Penix maybe one of the top 3 guys to go to the NFL? Because what he does with the football is stupendous.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the national championship game for the 2023 college football season. That'll see the Washington Huskies representing the Pac-12 in its final year, taking on that team led by that man, the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. We're bouncing. We are house calling. Donovan Edwards, touchdown in the national championship. Extra point is up and good. D-Bud with the one-hand grab, start the national championship.
And maybe D-Bud.
Con man, what's the decibels over there?
Yeah, in fact, the decibels are high right now. Let me tell you, it's 106.4. This might be the line.
At decibel meter, we have actual gimmicks. Depending upon the night, does JJ go to the NFL, which Mel Kiper has him as the 5th-rated quarterback in the draft? What does that mean, Mel?
Well, it means that he's got the physical and tangible tools in his head to be a first-round quarterback. I think whether he wins or loses. Oh,
Donovan Edwards running into our lap. That's 2 for the Michigan Wolverines and 2 for Donovan Edwards. Pete Thamel, how long's that sign blocker been doing it, and how has he gotten to a level where he's the best in the game?
He's been a Michigan man for quite some time now. And obviously, he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for that pesky bastard Connor Stallions. But Coach Harbaugh, he found a place for him in the Michigan family.
A beautiful moment between the Harbaugh brothers on the sideline. The one on the right there, #1 seed in the AFC. The one on the left, up 17-3 in the national championship. Third option, McMillan, touchdown with a flag on Michigan. That'll stand 17-10. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o! Michigan has the rock.
Tony dropped his mic. Tony dropped his mic.
Oh, no.
Oh, no need.
Welcome back to the national championship where elite athletes perform and Tone Diggs does something to embarrass his entire family.
I'm ready if Penix goes down. Sling. Boom!
Snap, handoff, play Corum. Has blockers. Breaks a tackle. Touchdown, Michigan. Penix is left. He hasn't looked there yet. And the Michigan Wolverines are going to be national champions for the first time in a long time. Oh, yes, we got a streaker, security spearing a guy's losing his pants. Cop's on top of him. Wow. Cross body. Wow. Cop's got his knee on his sternum. Say, listen, Michigan man.
Oh, bag him and tag him, boys.
I think Pink Shirt pulled a quad.
Pink Shirt is not ready. What a win, dude.
Jalen Milroe often wears his own branded apparel reading LANK across the front. It's an acronym that stands for Let a Naysayer Know. Being told by his former offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien.
That is not what I thought.
Is that not what you thought?
Boy, let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Of course.
The professional's right in the middle of his lead. That's all right. I just keep going.
You almost lost me.
It got real tight up here as you were. I just want to let you know.
Reese, you were too smooth with that. I thought it was going down. I thought it was going down out here. Whoa. I looked over at
Oh, sorry about it. Let a naysayer know.
Let a naysayer know.
Naysayer know. That's what we thought the whole time. That's what we all thought. Joining us is a demon. Ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's.
Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow.
Okay.
It's about to get weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son
Get
of a
weird.
bitch.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no, I dropped it.
Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, what's up? My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's booking Sean Payton right now.
So
there we go. Head boy Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
One of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
it could
you
be a
fucked
lot
my
or a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you, you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want.
We're back.
More or less. A piece.
No, that's not okay. Now I'm good.
3 times. Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt,
That's
bro.
not- And there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
And show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us 99. Turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way. Shut up! This guy!
757, that thing.
What?
That's been in there since 7:57. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
You
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please. Come on, bro. Read him to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 7:57.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 32
How?
pick Raiders.
Fuck this guy. Oh, fucking way! There's no way!
This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders,
No.
Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Alt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo Nixon, and the 13th pick.
Oh my God!
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Whoa.
Taped on his chest since 7:57. Right now it is 9:50. You're a demon.
Man.
O's.
That's fucking unbelievable.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Week 5 NFL Kickoff Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is awesome. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and Bruce Brown. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP. Tone is here. Tone, where's the money? How's the money? What's the percentages on this evening's Thursday Night Football NFC South match?
70% are on the Bucks plus the 2.5 going into Atlanta.
Excuse me?
A lot of money.
36 years as a football coach. A man who's 4-0 against the spread on Thursday Night Football thus far this season. Chuck Pagano is here. Chuck, you just did film, a tale of the tape, a whole song and dance. That Bucks plus 2.5 feels really good. How do you feel right now knowing that 70% of the money is on the same side that you're on, and the public have historically got their asses beat this year against the sports?
Good.
That's not good. We can get them, though. We can get them.
It's time for
No,
a gift.
absolutely. We ain't waffling.
No.
You sure?
Are you sure? I mean, that's 70%.
What was it, 38 and 22? I mean, there's 22 times that public won.
Was it 70%?
Yeah, that was just 50 or
Hey,
40.
Tony brought up a point. The rush average for the Atlanta Falcons is like first in the league. Can you hear me? No?
Just whenever you get past it.
There you go.
Yeah, you get
see, like you get up here, it's just a little bit different than whenever you're like right here. Like right here.
So
it's a little bit different.
their rush average is number 1 in the league, and the Bucks are 29th in the league.
And what?
Am I still okay? What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't think you can hear me.
Because I'll tell you what.
I can't really hear you, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think you
just
gotta-
get closer a little bit.
There's no reason to take
I'll
that
tell
from
you
him.
what.
There's no reason
No.
to take that from him.
I couldn't hear him either, to be fair.
You couldn't hear him?
Stop it,
No.
Gump.
I think it's
Get a
because he
little
was.
closer.
Have you been talking?
You
Coach?
never do this, Gump.
Lean
Don't you
in-
jump on that.
Lean
He
into the
does
mic a
He
little
does it
bit.
to you, though, for some reason.
Yeah, what's that all about? You and D-Bone really is target.
No, I love Coach.
Oh, okay, hey D-Bone.
No, I've been on good terms. Me and Debo been good on good terms this week.
Can you see D-Bone right now back there?
Yeah, and also hovering over there.
Yeah, hovering over the donut.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
he's
God.
scarfing him down
You
over
could have
there.
just seen him.
It's a big man. He's
Now,
got to eat a few.
I don't want to cut off what you were saying because where you're heading was certainly worthy of being discussed, and we will get back to it. But if we're going to talk about food, guess what day it is?
What day is it?
Thursday.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
AJ, you're in Ohio. Do you know what that
Holy
means
shit.
on this particular Thursday?
I think it may mean that old Pizza Hut is coming around, huh?
Brother! No one! And we mean fucking no one! Our Pizza's the Hut, brother. My Hut box.
Let's go.
Currently available. And the amount of Pizza Hut that is demolished on this basketball court every single Thursday is absolutely insane. First week, the Pizza Hut people sent us the pizza to say, like, hey, we're pumped to do this. We're thankful for everything you said. Then the next week, there was no discussion with the Pizza Hut people or whatever. So we ordered the order. And then that has just become like an automatic order every single week. Brother.
How many pizzas you guys go through?
Okay, so there's 5 pizzas I think that get ordered each week, and that's what I just wanted to talk about. This pepperoni thin crust right now, the pepperoni and the crispy pepperoni the Pizza Hut is doing right now, they're throwing their fastball right now. I mean, it is 102, 103, maybe even 105. People are talking about 105. This thin crust pepperoni is good. Some people like the original pan, though, around here. Some people...
Yeah, love the pan.
The crispy thin crust, like it has a little crust on it, and it's kind of crispy and hard. Like, is that what you're talking about?
Crispy thin crust,
it's unbelievable.
And then also crispy pepperonis.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we got
do it right.
We got fucking crispy pepperonis.
There's millions of them on it,
but all over.
Can't see any cheese.
Oh, so good. Not actually millions. Not actually millions.
If only.
But Chuck, I think your favorite thing, and that's because you're a coach and a unifier and everything like that. What happens when this Pizza Hut comes out here is it just gets a little bit of a scent in the entire Thunderdome, and you just see people coming like flies and ants to something sticky.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is. Shit coming flying in here. And it's we just stand in a circle around a bunch of food.
Family.
For 30, 35 minutes probably. And then inevitably just start talking shit to everybody. But the food is the one thing.
And it don't matter if it's still on the table, on the floor. We're eating shit.
Yep.
Like we're going electric chair. It is so good.
Food did slip out.
Well said, Chuck.
Food did slip out and go on the floor week 1.
Booby trap.
Carrying a box, slippy outside.
There's so many of them.
Oh.
So excited to eat it, so you're kind of shit.
Jacked up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pizza Hut. We appreciate the hell out of you, Pizza Hut.
Love you, Hut.
I've seen people tweeting and posting their photos of their Pizza Hut.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, no one. And we mean fucking no one.
No.
Ever. Forever and ever.
Yeah, future
Never,
and past.
This planet and others if we make it.
True.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No one. Al Pizza's the Hut. Thank you, Pizza Hut.
Love you, Pizza Hut. That's a good point, too. Mars. I've heard that the first thing that Mars is planning to do is put a Pizza Hut in.
That makes sense.
Wow.
Community.
Mm-hmm.
Good food, great food.
Everyone can gather
with the
around
buffet.
Consistent food. And it's also making a statement for Mars. Like, hey, here, we're only going to be the best, the most consistent, always showing up. No matter what town you go to here in Mars, you're going to get the highest quality every time. And that's what Pizza Hut does.
And all countries love it.
And it doesn't matter what city you go to. I did do some research on pizzas that are available in Berkeley, California.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of
No way.
options. People talk
No
about
way.
blondies, and they're thinking
Guess
there's another
what they
one.
got?
Guess what they have there in Berkeley, California, AJ?
They got a Pizza Hut right near your where you might be staying.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, they got a.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? Well, I will go check out the local pizzas, okay? And I am, I'll be very impressed. I love a good local pizza and everything like that. But all roads lead to the Hut, brother. And it doesn't matter what city you're in. And that could be New York City.
There you go.
That is
You
just
know what runs right underneath that stadium?
in Berkeley.
Pizza Hut?
They got tunnels? What do they got?
All right.
It's right on top of the San Andreas Fault.
Oh, wow.
The big one.
What's that, buddy?
It's right on top of the San Andreas Fault, that stadium.
Good news.
That's the one that The Rock flew a helicopter into?
Yeah.
When you got one leg.
Saved a bunch of lives.
That stadium is right on top of the fault?
Right
I think he had
on
two
top
legs in that movie.
How does that happen? So how is that a decision that's made?
It's just so far down on the ground, they start digging and laying
it's
concrete
old.
and
To
put
be
a
honest,
foundation down. They don't know. They
It's a
don't
very
do their
big vault,
research.
too.
What's that?
You can't miss it.
It's ginormous.
If there's an earthquake, oh boy.
All it has to do is slip.
That's it.
No, it doesn't.
And
And it never will.
And that
The whole thing's gone then, right, Chuck? It falls right in?
Whole
Pacific,
state.
I don't want that.
You got
We don't want that.
Another island.
No.
I mean, at one point, Pangea happened, you know?
Yeah.
And there's people that don't believe in or know Pangea.
Spirits don't know about Pangea.
But we don't need shout out to Lil Dicky. And I don't know who the hell is pounding their microphone on such a regular basis. We got a bass drum happening. I think it might be I might be in
mine for a second.
Yeah, I might be in Ohio there.
Got some noise here.
We got some noise here. We got some of that.
What is that?
We don't need. What's that?
Who's doing?
All right, he can't hear it.
Yeah.
We know that. I mean, that is it is a wonderful. I'll be stopping at Pizza Hut in Berkeley. Speaking of Berkeley, college football is cooking right now.
Oh yeah.
And we're incredibly lucky to be in the college football world, have been for the last few years, welcomed in, I think finally more so now than it was in the first couple years, but getting a chance to see everything and how everybody operates at these massive programs and how college football at the highest level actually is from a fan base perspective, from a traditions perspective, from operational perspective to the game day atmosphere perspective. It has been an absolute blast. And this year, college ball is living up to the hype. And one of the big storylines is seemingly everybody's watching. Let's go to some college ball convos with AP Tone.
Yeah, we'll start right there, Pat. The college football ratings are yodely, 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 boom! Right at the top there. And guess what? You know who starts that Saturday?
What's that, brother?
Other graphic. Game day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of people watching game day. It's insane.
3 million viewers in the final hour, and they are having, I don't know, the biggest season ever. Is that good?
That's fun, man. It's a cool thing. The vibes around this game day, every place we go, electrifying. Now, granted, it always has been since I've been a part of it, and I don't know what it always has been like. I think that exact thing. But people in this world that we're in now, enjoying the shit out of live events and being a part of something, every morning whenever you turn on College Game Day, you are going to get an environment that maybe you'll never get to experience, but you feel like you are through the television, let alone listening to the greatest of all time and Coach Saban talk about the sport that he was dominant over, and then listening to Kirk Herbstreit, who's been around for 27 years, Desmond Howard, who's the only person to win a Heisman and a Super Bowl MVP, and Reese Davis doing his thing. The authority breaking all the news, but it's like the crowds and how active the crowds have been this year have been so much fun, which is why, going to Berkeley, 6 a.m. local tip-off for College Game Day. Ooh. I'm very eager and excited to see how it is because the crowds this year have been phenomenal, which I think is a big part of the entire success. But then this game day is only indicative, I think, of college football as a whole. That graphic with the games and the numbers of people watching this early in the college football season is phenomenal.
Yeah, Kentucky Ole Miss, 4 million viewers, I believe was the most watched noon game in a while. Same for the 5 million viewers, Auburn and Oklahoma at 3:30. And then the 12 million viewers for Georgia and Alabama was the most watched regular season game since 2017. So, just huge numbers across the board for college football.
That's regular season game.
Yeah.
So that's like in December whenever there's like implications on national championships and there was only 4 playoff spots, those regular season games. The big one, obviously Ohio State, Michigan, whenever everything is on the line, it's like this has happened. This game happened in September. And they're having the most watch since 2017. Awesome. It's bananas year right now for college football.
Yes, it is. Let's go to the next one, which is DeBoer's dominance. Those 12 million eyes, that's what they were watching. Kalen DeBoer and his dominance. He's now 30-3 as a Power 5 coach.
Wow.
30-3 as a Power 5 coach, which is huge. He's now 6-0 against Kirby, Sark, and Dan Lanning, who are 3 of the best coaches in college football right now. What does that say about Kalen DeBoer? He's pretty good.
And what does that say about this Alabama team, who obviously has a phenomenal tradition, a phenomenally successful program, finding this guy to be the head coach out of Washington? Good hire, great hire. Milrose playing great ball, and they had to answer. It wasn't like they were obviously given a head start early in that game, quickly. Head start, 14, 20, we're going, and Georgia's falling back. Then they get tested. They almost give that up at home when all eyes are on them, when it's being heralded as like the mega bowl of the SEC, all eyes. And then they had to answer, and they did. It's like, I think they both learned a lot about each other, but Alabama certainly in this DeBoer era had to feel good coming out of that, calloused almost for some big SEC battles.
I mean, just going from Saban to him and just being like, oh, okay, this is like going from Favre to Rodgers to Love. We don't even have to worry about this anymore. Like there was just no drop off so far.
How cool has DeBoer been on our program too, AJ? He's always been cool to us.
From day one, he's been the man. Yeah, he doesn't change. I think that's probably when he was in the interview process. He feels very authentic. Like he's not trying to put on an act or be somebody else.
I feel very comfortable asking him questions I think that I wouldn't ask other people. Yeah. I just feel like DeBoer's like a part, like.
Seems like good dude. Didn't he seem like a good dude? Like just really good dude.
Yeah, DeBoer's one of the boys here.
Good vibe.
Yeah, and he's a phenomenal, I guess, what is that? Just the ability to have everybody rowing in the right direction? You think that's what that is?
Obviously, to your point, you said the job that they did finding him, and selecting him to be the guy to follow Saban. like just listening to that and listening to your conversation and listening to them up on the during game day, answer all those questions. You're like, okay, yeah, you can see exactly why.
What is it though? What do you think it is? It's culture? Is it the ability to?
I think he's got he's humble. He's got humility to him. I think he's a brilliant football coach, but somebody that's self-aware and aware of the circumstances. Like, I'm not going to come in here and be Nick. He recognized the greatness, and he understands the expectations and the standard, what it is, and not going to do it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to try to be this guy. I can't be this guy. I'm going to be myself. And his track record speaks for itself. He's won every. What'd you say his record was? What?
So currently
13 and 17 or something.
107 and 12 in 119 games, I think is what it is. But now it's 120 games. He's won 108 of them.
Yeah, 108. Yeah.
He's only lost 3 games. The most amount of games he's ever lost in a season is 3, and I think it only happened once. It was like his first year somewhere.
Yeah, Washington, right?
Yeah, was it?
I thought so, but I could be wrong.
Maybe, whatever the case. The guy just wins all the time. He goes to Washington 2 years.
He's done everything right. The way he's running the program, just having the kids, kids going through circumstances,
on Fridays.
Bringing that in on, what do they call it? Something Fridays? Friends Friday? Or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Look, Friends Friday. I mean, that stuff is just, what that does for a program, what that does for the kids as players. You remember when we'd have kids to come out that are dealing with stuff and just like, okay, it just gives you gratitude and appreciation. Like, okay, look, my circumstances, like compared to what, we always said compared to what.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through some stuff, and then you see something like this, these like, God, shame on me for feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah, Perspective Friday is what you could call it, I think, for his team. And it's like they've obviously answered, too. Alabama kids responded. The Washington dudes responded whenever he got there. Kalen DeBoer's a good coach, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a fun coach.
I'm embarrassed. I don't know why I used Rodgers and Favre and Jordan Love. I should have just said Chuck Noll to Bill Cowher to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it would have been a coaching.
Yeah, that's what we all thought.
But you went to Green Bay instead, too, to show them love, which people respect out of you. That's why you're Associated Press voter.
Yeah. Let's move on. There were 4 guys who really separated themselves in the Heisman this week. We'll start with that game with Jalen Milroe. He had almost 500 yards of total offense in that game.
Jeez.
He had 374 yards passing, 6 incompletions on 33 passes. That's pretty good. With 116 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, he's 18 touchdowns in 4 games. He is your Heisman leader as far as odds are concerned. Second is Cam Ward, who kind of had his Heisman moment this weekend when he was down the VT. It was in the grass here in this play, and then made the play to get down to the goal line. They eventually come back, win the game on the Hail Mary. Cam Ward, 385 yards per game and 20 total touchdowns on the season. Then we go to Travis Hunter, who is averaging 9 catches a game, 112 receiving yards a game, has 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. Anyone want to guess how many snaps he plays a game?
85. 85.
That'd be good. That'd be good too. 132 snaps a game is what he's
per
playing.
game.
Average?
Yes.
What the hell?
Man, that's an active offense.
His
132
cardio.
snaps a
They
game.
run a lot of plays.
That's a lot of plays.
They run a lot of plays.
That's a lot of plays.
And he can do it in Florida.
I got it from Yahoo, so if it's wrong, that's on Yahoo. And then last, Ashton Jeanty, Chuck's guy, 216 yards a game and 13 touchdowns. And obviously, as we like to point out, that one game against Portland State, he only played a half and had 120 yards in that one and no touchdowns. So if he would have played the full game in that one, his numbers would be insane. But what he's doing out there in the Mountain West, unbelievable. And those 4 have, as far as odds are concerned, separated themselves from everyone else.
AJ, what award did you win in college?
Lombardi Award.
Okay, which is what, linebackers?
I think they say it for like the front 7, basically. So D-line or linebacker.
Wow.
Okay, D-line or linebacker, congrats to you. The Heisman's quarterback award, right? But it's awesome that Travis Hunter and Jeanty are in the top 4. I think that is very indicative of how great they have been. Do you view it the same way or no?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a quarterback award first. We know that, but it would be cool to see a non-quarterback actually sneak in there and win.
Won it?
Devonta Smith won it.
Instead of Mac Jones, who was there.
Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry had one.
Fitz should have won it.
But like very rarely.
Very
Mark
rare.
Ingram?
Very, very rare, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Ingram was the first. Is it true? Was he the first Alabama player to win the Heisman?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I was thinking about that the other day about Alabama Hall of Fame guys, Pro Football Hall of Famers. It's like, out of this Saban era, Julio will go in, right? He's the first one, probably.
Julio, definitely.
Derek, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, depending upon how this all goes.
They're talking about him being the last guy to 10,000 rushing yards.
So he'll go in there.
Yep.
It's interesting, man.
I mean, Dante Hightower, I would hope, would go in there. I don't know if he played long enough.
Some offensive lineman, I assume.
For sure.
Defensive lineman, I assume, will go in there.
D lineman. Like Quentin Williams, actually.
Potential. I mean, it's depending upon how it all works out.
Yeah, how he keeps going, yeah.
Anyways, the Heisman, though, normally quarterback, those two are balling out. Travis Hunter's must-watch television.
Yes,
Not
sir.
that Genty isn't. It's just too late, mostly, for me. That's too late of a start. I'll watch the highlights on Sunday.
It
morning.
is.
Yeah, gotta get
Those are late games.
He's a highlight watcher, but you're saying every snap he's worth a watch. I assume he will be. Can't wait to start doing that for him, obviously. But Travis Hunter is must-watch television, and I think everybody knows it.
Yes, yeah, they do. Also, must-watch television. There's a lot of freshmen out there, and there's a youth movement in college football. I want to talk about the top 4 teams in the college football and the youth movement. Number 1, Bama. Obviously, we saw Ryan Williams this weekend, the 17-year-old stud freshman wide receiver who, is their leading receiver by far, is their top playmaker by far. Without him, do they win this game? Absolutely not. I don't think so. The offense is completely different because he is the stud. He is their playmaker on that offense. So that's huge for number 1, Alabama.
Game-winning touchdown.
Yes. Game-winning. And athletes, okay? Athletes, professional players are saying this is one of the most ridiculous things they've ever seen. Number 2, Texas has Arch Manning, who has stepped in for Quinn Ewers being hurt. Now, would they have had a quarterback that would have been able to step in with Quinn? Maybe. I don't know, but Arch stepped in and did an unbelievable job as Quinn's been out. Quinn now, they have a bye week. He's probably going to be back versus Oklahoma. But also their number 2 leading rusher is a true freshman, and also their number 2 leading receiver is also a true freshman at Texas. So there's a youth movement at Texas as well. They're going to be fine for years to come. Number 3, Ohio State.
Great, silly.
We talk about Ryan Williams.
This one, too, is great, silly.
The little...
That's good shit.
Number 3, Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith. I mean, we've talked about him. Now Ryan Williams could have upped it this weekend, but he also had that catch this weekend. He's absurd for number 3, Ohio State. He's leading there with 5 touchdowns. He has 5 touchdowns as a true freshman for Ohio State already this year. And then number 4, Tennessee, Nico Go, you do it.
Iamaleava. Male.
Ava.
Molly.
He's leading.
Male.
Iamaleava. There it is.
Bingo.
Iamaleava.
Hey, way to go, Oos.
He is leading the number
Nico's
1.
great name, too. So, like, Nico, great name.
Yes.
Iamaleava, great name.
Yep.
Piece them together. Nico Iamaleava, great name.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's really good.
First
He's a
team
good
all
football
name.
They're
player.
the number 1 scoring offense in all of college football.
In all the land.
In all of the land. So all top 4 of those teams are doing it with help from very, very young players on their football team.
They're the number 1 scoring football team, college or professional.
Yes. Yeah, I don't
In
think
all of the land.
Yeah, I don't think any pro teams. I think they're 54 points a game, something like that.
Best scoring team in the world, Greg.
Yeah.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know what these Norway American football clubs are doing.
Not this.
I don't know if they're putting this up.
No.
No way.
They don't have Heupel. They don't have Nico.
Nico and Heupel lead the number 1 scoring offense in the entire world. Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Hey, I got good news for you.
What's that?
The Big 12, that thing is wide open, my friend.
Always
so,
is.
let's hear. Preseason favorites, Utah.
Come on, Neil.
They lost last week. Preseason favorite, K-State. They lost 2 weeks ago. Oklahoma State, they're dead in the water. Okay. UCF lost last week to Colorado. Kansas is an absolute mess. You're looking at it right there. Up top is BYU, Colorado, Texas Tech, Iowa State. They're the undefeated teams in the Big 12 so far, but they haven't played any of the big dogs. But who are the big dogs? Arizona, West Virginia, they're sitting there like the Big 12. I think any team, besides maybe Baylor, Houston, some of those guys down there, TCU, Cincinnati, but any other team could end up being in the Big 12 championship.
Big one for West Virginia, Oklahoma State.
Huge.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do it. And to your point about Oklahoma State, for some reason, they just haven't. We don't know why.
Dead in the water.
Nobody understands why. Legitimately. I don't think anybody really understands why or what's going on.
They brought back, I think it was 21 starters from a team that had 2 losses last year and went to the Big 12 championship.
And there's a chance they get hot this weekend against West Virginia. There's a chance West Virginia wins and goes undefeated to continue in the Big 12.
Shut them down.
A lot of people are saying a lot of things about West Virginia after the old Penn State performance in the big game, weren't they?
They were.
A lot of football left.
Those weren't conference games.
Garrett Green still has a chance to get into the college football playoff.
Wow, brother.
Heisman conversation.
Who let the Mountaineers get hot? Somebody did. Get that right, just like Detroit Tigers.
Don't let them get hot.
He shaved, right?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Coach?
Yeah, after the
There's a
Penn
lot of
State
things
game.
that happened,
Yeah.
That's yesterday's news, please.
You know who's WVU's lucky they don't have to play?
Who's that?
the 5-0 Indiana Hoosiers. The first time they are 5-0 since 1967.
Light 'em
Kurt
up.
Cignetti is absolutely dominating out there. Quarterback Curtis Rourke comes over from Ohio and is leading a very potent offense, who they are scoring over 40 points per game.
Jeez.
People love the IU Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers in their last game got into a little bit of a dogfight too,
Yeah.
and then they pulled away and won by 2 scores. It's
Yep.
like Hoosier fans have never seen this from the football team.
crazy.
1967, obviously there's some Hoosier fans that have seen this, but a majority of Hoosier fans that have any recollection of Hoosier football have not seen this, had not had this type of hope, have not sold out that stadium the way that they've moved it. Cignetti has come in here and lit up that entire program. Now, if the Indiana basketball team has a good season, that'd be great for all of IU and Hoosier fans and the Stripes and everything like that. But if Hoosier basketball continues to do what Hoosier basketball has been doing, and Cignetti continues to roll this football team, look out. Indiana's a football state as well, and I think they're proving it down there. Cignetti said, Google me, I win.
I win.
Comes to Indiana, we go, are you going to be able to do it in Indiana? Your second fiddle. Starts a collective, starts getting money, turns this place around, uses the transfer portal for good, very good, and now he's got him 5-0 and the place is buzzing. Got Northwestern in Northwestern this weekend. We should see how that goes.
On the lake?
On the lake, obviously.
Hard to like.
Is it a late game?
I don't know. I think
Some of them are late games. Some of them they're playing at Wrigley. But
whatever the case, Cignetti and Wrigley, winner. Cignetti on the lake, better. I mean, whatever the case is, this IU team's rolling and people are loving it. Paisano doing his thing.
He's writing letters.
That's right. To the students.
To the students, thanking them. He's a smart man.
Old school.
Yeah. Sig.
Hey, listen.
See the T-shirt, the Sig T-shirt.
Yeah,
that's
the Marlboro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he gets it. Cignetti's not scared to talk his shit too.
No.
Last year at JMU, he goes to the crowd, biggest historic crowd. Do we like the NCAA? No. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Do we like me?
Yeah.
good news, it's on the lake.
It's on the lake?
Yeah, it's on the lake.
Sig on the lake. Nothing finer.
Yep.
Amen.
It's a massive weekend. Obviously, that IU Northwestern one's on there. Missouri, Texas A&M. There's a ranked matchup. Game day maybe goes there if it wasn't already at Texas A&M. Ole Miss, South Carolina, Iowa, Ohio State. AJ, how are the Buckeyes? Obviously, we see Jeremiah Smith highlights every single week. How's everybody else?
I think everyone feels pretty good. I mean, they want to see if Ohio State can run on this Iowa defense. Like, we know that it's a stout D, so I think it's going to be a good test.
19.5 is a lot of points there for the Hawkeyes. And Ty, obviously, congrats to the Schmitz. Another beautiful baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, congrats.
I wonder how he feels about it all. And he'll probably say, got a tough Iowa team coming into this whole
Sure do. Sure do.
19.5 is a lot of points. Kirk's dogs are getting almost 20 points.
Come on.
Okay. Big Ten football still? Okay. West Virginia, Oklahoma State. We just chatted about that. Oklahoma State favored by 3.5. At home, look out. Garrett Green's running wild, brother.
Yep. Big 12 has been like, just take the home team, but we need Garrett Green to run wild.
Watch it, Bruce.
So
I'm
if
just
there's
saying.
a good get-right game for Ollie, I think he ran for like 400 last year against WU. So maybe
Not happening.
Everybody needs to slow down.
I said
Everybody,
if there's a
Yeah,
get-right
you know who
game.
their outside linebackers coach is now, though?
Winner.
Victor Cabral.
Yeah,
Bitch.
victory.
and you
That's what I
can't
meant.
spell victory
That's what-
without
Without
Victor.
Victor.
And we know that. Michigan at Washington. Washington favored by 2.5
Yeah,
against the
top
number
10 Michigan.
10 team in the
That's a
country.
good one.
Michigan.
Good game.
Yeah. It all comes down to the trenches. It's just trench warfare with Michigan. If they can run all over them with Mullins and Edwards, they have a chance to win the game.
And Orgy.
But how far can you go without throwing the football? They're going to find out.
Well, I will remember for the last few years been able to do a lot.
They'll
No,
tell you
it's
the
true.
Big Ten title game.
Will Johnson, I believe, is good to go. Still waiting on Rod Moore back in that secondary, but, it's a great defense and pound the rock and, hope to cover the 3.5.
Just like West Virginia, everybody counted out Michigan after the big loss to Texas. They counted them out. But look at them, still top 10, reigning national champs. Orgy's able to move it. Then you got Miami traveling to Berkeley, California. Cal getting 10.5 at home. Massive ACC game. First time College Game Day has been to Berkeley, California, which the photo in the back of this graphic is. That's Berkeley, California.
Oh,
sweet.
That's cool.
Nice.
That clock tower there, I'd assume, is a pretty important thing.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get out there and kind of see what it is,
Karl
where it
Marx
is.
built that.
That's not.
Did he?
That is not.
Really?
Come on. Oppenheimer built it.
That, whatever the case,
That might be.
You're not right, neither are you. And there's been a lot of things said to me about Berkeley, California over the last few days, both by the internet and humans that have been there. Can't wait to experience it. Can't wait to get out there and see it.
There's a Pizza Hut there, so
That's got to be
already
Yeah.
good.
That's all that
sign.
matters.
no one.
No one.
And we mean no one. Oh, Pizza Hut. Try it tonight. You haven't had pizza in a while.
Hell yeah.
Go ahead and give it a go.
Delicious.
Week 5 of the NFL season's kicking off.
Let's go.
NFC South battle on Prime.
Boom.
Go ahead and order yourself some Pizza Hut alongside. And then see what happens. 1 week's going to become the next week. It's going to become a tradition for your family. You guys are going to gather around some great pie and great wings.
What?
Get the wings. Boneless, everybody likes. Everybody likes chicken nuggets. Okay, boneless wings. Everybody likes the flavor of boneless wings. They're bone-in wings.
Phenomenal.
Top tier.
Oh,
You can eat 40 of them.
easy. Ming. They are good.
They are very good.
I wish we'd get them lemon. We haven't had those lemon pepper ones.
First week, I think they
First week we had them. They're awesome.
You want them? You want more lemon peppers?
Bring them in.
All right, we'll get some lemon pepper.
I get agita with that sauce.
The agita.
Yeah.
Is that more Italian?
That's when you burp up a puke, I think, right?
Agita.
Oh.
Yeah.
Heartburn?
want
Little heartburn,
reflux.
Coach?
Yeah. Woo.
What is it?
thing
That's
starts-
agita?
I got
Hey.
a long flight home, and if that thing starts to boil,
Long flight. How long for you?
You can be farting the whole way.
it takes a minute.
Yeah, you fart on that commercial.
Please don't.
You're farting all
No.
over people.
No, sir.
27B.
Like
And
he would know.
He fakes
if
like
he
he's
was
asleep.
farting.
You got to fake asleep after
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. What?
What?
You smell? I don't smell anything.
I can't smell shit.
I can't. You
Can't
smell?
smell.
Oh, it must be
Taste.
What do you watch on those planes?
film.
Sometimes if they got frickin', they'll say we got Wi-Fi, right?
You got to pay
And
for
I
it.
go to put the Prime on. We got Prime, but no Wi-Fi. Can't watch the game.
No, and then they'll say we're on a plane. Yeah,
Some-
I've been there. Done
Some airline.
Well, they all got Wi-Fi.
Manga.
There was an airline that struck a deal with Elon. They're going to provide free Wi-Fi. I can't remember which airline it was.
Maybe United.
United or
And what we've been told that particular Wi-Fi, once crop, actually not that.
better.
No, it's better. And I think they
better.
just got access to a part of the sky
Orbit
Atmosphere.
or whatever.
to put their satellites in. I think they just got access to it. I believe there was quite a move by the others to not let their satellites in there.
Sure.
Love that.
And now their satellites are getting in there, so I think they're able to hit more. But Wi-Fi on a plane is a must. 4 hours and 48 minutes over to Berkeley, pal. How long are you going? How long is yours over there?
So it just depends where you got to connect through. So it's about like that.
Where do you connect through?
Usually Denver, so it's couple three.
You ever
Careful.
go to
there
the
and
basement?
then-
You ever go to the basement of that Denver airport?
Careful in there.
What happens there?
You tell me, AJ.
What,
You would know. Scumbag.
I don't know. I hear a lot about the Denver airport, and it's very intriguing. I just don't know what's going on.
There's something.
You did hear something, didn't you?
what are you guys making up? I've never heard anything.
We're not
Don't
making
worry about it. Just Google
shit.
it on your flight if the internet
Scary
works.
horse,
You
all
got
that
it.
jazz.
Yeah, the paintings, all the things.
The red eyes.
The rumbles,
You just look around at that Denver airport and go, whoa,
the smell.
it's kind of interesting.
Why is it way out here?
You ever do anything? Wow, it
should.
is way out here. Is there anything going on here? Just do that. Just Google it. See what happens. Anyways,
Underground tunnels.
Whoa, I don't know. I've never seen that. You might see those. Maybe AJ has. I don't know. He's top 5 pick. Let's do a giveaway on the way out here. This universe ball has been good to us.
Absolutely.
Whenever you've made it, it's been luck that you have been right. That is kind of how it goes. I picked against you one time in 2 weeks ago. Universe ball goes in. All of a sudden, I don't go on your side. I'm wrong. You're right. This week, you like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 2.5, traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Are you going to throw a football, shoot a basketball, make a putt? What are you thinking?
Got to throw.
Okay.
Throw the football.
Here we go.
Into that hoop over there or this one over here?
This is the one I've usually hit, but last week wasn't so good, right?
I don't know.
You
Hey,
tell us.
you tell
It's
us.
been pretty
It's a
consistent.
new week.
What do you think, Con, man?
Do you live in your fears?
Which one would you go at?
Which one did you warm up on?
Come on.
He didn't really do much warming up from the stage today. I mean, if I were here, I'd try to get it in the trash bucket, but that's just me. You know, I'm looking
It's not
for
a trash bucket.
It's not a trash
Excuse me,
bucket.
in the
Rock
bucket,
bin. It's a bin.
the rock bin.
It's a rock bin, but it's got a hand in the face right there. It's got somebody's face.
I mean, I'm looking for a challenge, but look, if we're
We got
just-
a bar to manipulate.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
That'd be a tough. That'd be something.
That would be something.
If a guy could drop a ball.
What do you think?
Oh, hey, is that the something?
Right
Especially
on
for the U being back, the Rock bin, you former coach of University of Miami, go Hurricanes.
be pretty cool.
Into the Rock
How
bin.
could one throw a teardrop over the
You could do it.
frame of
I mean,
that
you could
net,
also
net deal?
You
I
could
think that-
sneak
I
one
Don't
in.
think about it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the good quarterbacks don't think about any of that. They just make the ball go there.
How about if I just gave one shot there, and if it's good, it's good. If not, I go back to the hoop.
Okay, I like.
What?
You only get one shot though to the Rock bin. I will say.
Is it true The Rock said
The Rock
that
said-
if you coached him harder, he would have been in the league?
The Rock said.
He wasn't there when I was coaching.
That's bullshit. He said you were.
No, The Rock said.
Well, telling a lie.
No, The Rock doesn't tell.
No, The Rock's
He can't lie. He can't lie.
He's back on the internet, thank God. He must be done filming that movie. It's good to see you back in my timeline, Dwayne. We missed you, buddy. He's walking into the Iron Paradise yesterday.
Your mama.
What? I needed his mana.
Yeah, we missed his mana.
His mana's gone when he films these movies, and all of a sudden he's back. It's like, all right, movie's over. Here we go. Now, how long is the editing? I don't know. Smash Machine. I'm gonna watch it.
Was it for the Moana one?
Nah, I don't know.
Or was it for the box?
He was doing that
the
MMA
boxing
Smashing
one?
Machine.
Yeah.
Mark Kerr. He's playing Mark Kerr, right?
Yeah, but then also the Moana thing was being filmed too, wasn't it?
That
Right?
live action. And
He's got a stand-up movie coming out as well.
Yeah, Red. I think that.
Red one or something like that.
I think that's been done.
That's done. Yeah. That's is that Chris's movie?
I don't know, but if this goes into the Rock bin, that means the Rock's all the way back on the internet. The Rock said,
filming a lot of stuff,
and we need him back on the internet.
Yes, we do.
The Rock said.
Rock said.
He's back to his fucking days. He was having sushi, I think, last night. He did it big.
Thank God.
That's what I'm saying.
Need sushi, Rock.
Oh, that's why Nick ordered sushi.
Well, Zeke ordered sushi yesterday, I think, during the day, and everybody looked at it and was like, wait a minute, maybe we should.
It was so good.
Pizza Hut needs to make a little sushi, don't they?
That little sushi roll?
Yeah.
Little Pizza Hut
Pizza Hut rolls.
Little pizza roll.
Oh, my God.
Like a strong bowl.
What if Pizza Hut made bagel bites?
What's that?
If this goes in
Uh-huh.
next Thursday, we'll still do donuts.
Okay.
But then
Jack's Donuts are fantastic.
I'm going to get sushi for everybody.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Before the show. Sushi before the show.
Come on, Coach.
All right, if this goes in, sushi for everybody. And also, for the people that are watching, we'll give 30 people $500. If this goes into the Rock, man. Chuck Pagano, nowhere near it.
Right in the middle.
That, you can still get sushi, though, because it wasn't that one.
We should send 30 people raw fish.
Yeah, something to think about. Maybe a salmon with the head still on it. What place was I at? They had the head on the game day. They brought out sushi, or they brought out fish.
Was it last year?
Washington?
Was it Washington?
Washington?
No, it might have been in South Carolina. Oh, I don't remember.
You're just supposed to leave the head and eat the body?
The head was just right in front of me. I mean, the head was just right in front of me.
I don't like when they do that.
Yeah, the cheek is kind of the best part, to be fair.
This guy.
A cheek?
Of what fish?
The fish cheek. If you get one of those bottom feeders,
Like
that
a
are kinda
800 pound fish?
You're sucking face
What?
with these fish?
Yeah, you just kind of fork out the cheek.
Guys
and
eating
you
fish
eat
butt
the-
cheeks.
How big is this
What will the
fish?
food be in
Get a load of this
Cal,
guy.
you think? What will they bring out at Cal, you think?
I'm not giving any answers. I'm going in there very open-minded.
Caesar salad, maybe.
All right, maybe.
I know they have.
I love Caesar
they have,
salad.
they have delicious Mexican out there.
Yeah.
La
Something
burrito.
healthy, right? It'll be granola.
Yeah, like tofu something.
All right. See, I think maybe there
Well,
will
no,
be.
they're healthy. They're healthy out there. So I'm saying they were ahead of the health movement.
Yeah, maybe it will be like some
An
some
Impossible
shakes.
Burger?
An Impossible Burger.
Oh,
Tofu Caesar salad.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Maybe it'd be tofu clam chowder. Well,
Spat. Whoa.
tofu chowder.
No such thing.
Sounds really good.
I'll eat it. You know that. I am for shoot hungry when that food comes
All
out.
gluten free.
I'm gonna need some gluten halfway through that show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need it.
Everything will be gluten free, believe me.
I'll tell you what though, when they bring out meat eye, there's no gluten in that, and it gives me good juice.
Sure.
I am for shoot hungry when that food comes out, obviously. And I know they keep running for entertainment purposes, but it's like, nah, we need actual food. I need actual nutrition right now. And it is always so good. I wonder what they'll bring out this week. It'll be good. It'll be La Burrita, maybe.
It'll be something delicious.
Maybe. Or the up dog hot dog.
Top dog.
Top
Jesus
dog.
Christ. Have some respect for the people at Berkeley.
What
They've
is
been through
Up Dog?
enough. That lady died, got dumped into the marina.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check that out.
AJ, you don't need to
Get you in the
add
right
on.
mindset.
I'm going to go check that out. Aaron told me to check it out. I'm going to check it out. I don't know if I'm ever going to get back to Berkeley, California in my life, so I'm going to try to experience everything I possibly can. Going to have a top dog. Unless there's a big, long line, I can't do it. I ain't got time.
Yeah, you got the hut.
Pizza Hut's waiting.
You got the hut right there.
Blondie's Pizzeria. I'm going to slide by, see what their pizza's
Just
like.
look at it.
Take it right over to the hut. Enjoy it all.
The Redwoods.
I'm going to hop in my Ram truck, 2,500 heavy duty.
Right.
Rebel Ram.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go, Chuck. Chuck, if you make that football into that basketball hoop right over there, 30 people will win $500. And also, the food that is delivered at College Game Day, Cal Berkeley, is going to be absolutely delicious. He's too strong. He's too strong. He threw it long. He threw it long. Again.
Little less.
So jacked up.
You're so jacked up thinking about that tofu. Chuck Pagano, If he makes this shot, he didn't hit the back.
Take a step back.
Take a breath, Coach.
Take a breath.
Jeez Louise, relax.
Heart rate down.
Maybe get under center.
Damn, time
like you're a
out.
sniper.
Take a drop. Take a drop, maybe.
Coach, get out of the shotgun. Get under center.
Yeah, get a cadence, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a cadence.
Can we hear
Maybe do a
cadence?
drop back. Maybe a hit.
There you go.
Full cadence.
Go.
This goes in, 30 people, $500. Great watch on his left hand. Football in his right hand.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. 30.
We do it.
30 winners of $500 because of a throw from a man who is 4-0 on Thursday Night Football against the spread picks. Tonight, will he be 5-0? He has the Bucks plus 2.5 as they travel to Atlanta. The game will kick off on Prime, NFC South rivalry. Week 5 of the NFL season leading right in to a phenomenal weekend of football. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to do this for a living. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. And you could potentially be one of the 30 winners because Chuck Pagano had a phenomenal day.
Yeah, baby, Chuck.
There you go, Chuck.
Talks Tables obviously kicking some wholesale ass, even without Ty Schmidt, who, once again, congratulations on the beautiful baby to him and his family. Hammer, Dahn. You guys are making picks on tonight's game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to watch it. Gumpy, good work. Everybody behind the scenes, great work. To the graphics department, way to go. Way to go, boys.
Way to go, boys.
Talk on TikTok. He put together maybe some of his finest work when we were talking about what's allowed and what's not allowed celebration-wise.
Talk's feeling it right now.
Talk's doing it. Talk is really doing it on TikTok and for the Reels on Instagram. And all of us will continue to say stupid things into microphones tomorrow. Feel Good Friday. We'll react to tonight's NFC South battle. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. We're in this thing together. Chuck, anything you say to the team before we get out of here?
Love this team.
Run through a wall.
Die for this team. This is my why. This team.
Hell yeah.
Forget where he is.
I don't like them laughing at you.
In between.
Fucking guy. It is.
That's right. We're lucky for that. Team on me, team on 3. We appreciate you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys.
1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye!